Okay, hi everyone. I think I'm live, but I'll just wait for confirmation from your side. So, all of you who are watching the session right now, just let me know on YouTube. Just post a comment. Just confirm that you can see me, you can hear me properly. Okay, confirmation is there. Great. So, I think we can start. Now, we'll start in 10 minutes. Before that, I just want to tell you a little bit about the session. Okay, I'll just give you a brief idea about it. So, see, the agenda is to solve the SimCAT live. Fine. But that is not the most important part. Like most people will be wondering what my performance will be like, what my score will be like. And that is honestly the least important part of today's session. My score doesn't matter here. Okay, because of course, I'm not taking the session in the environment in which I would take it in the CAT. I will be talking through the session. I will be explaining a little bit, telling you my reasons for selecting a question, leaving a question. So, what is more important is the way in which I take the test, my strategy or my process of taking the test rather than the final performance. Okay, so it's not like I will be targeting a very high score. In fact, I don't keep any targets. My students will know that. But again, I just want to emphasize this. People who are watching it live and even people who watch the recording, don't just focus on the final score. Focus on the reasons for question selection and time management. Okay, because I know in my days, I've seen that I myself, when I was seeing a live solving, first I would check the score. Okay, and then I would come to the process, but process is more important. Now, let me quickly tell you about my strategy for each of the three sections. So, see, VRC is usually a strong section for me. First time I prepared for the CAT, it was my strongest section, in fact. So normally in VRC, I read everything, I attempt almost everything. Like in the last 3, 4, 5 CAT attempts, I've attempted more than 20 questions every time. And my percentile has always been 99 plus in VRC. Last three times it's been 99.9 plus. So that is just to tell you that VRC is usually a pretty strong section for me, even though I don't teach it because of a lot of reading experience. But of course, live solving has its own limitations. Of course, my speed is reduced heavily, especially in VRC and a little bit in DILR, because normally when I'm reading in my mind. I'm not speaking out loud. Okay, but today, of course, so that you understand my thought process, I will be reading it out loud and talking to you while I'm solving. So that will definitely decrease my speed, which will definitely reduce my attempts, but that is fine. Okay, even if I attempt less, that is okay. Because whatever I do attempt, you will still get an idea about how I'm selecting questions or how I'm eliminating options. And that same kind of logic or that same kind of process can be applied to other questions also. Okay, so that will be the crucial part of VRC. And my strategy basically normally is to attempt all the RCs first and then come to the VA questions. I'm pretty fast at reading, so I can attempt all the RCs in 28 to 30 minutes, then come to VA questions. Anything I find difficult, of course, I just skip. I don't target attempting everything. But today, what I'll do is, depending upon my speed, I'll maybe attempt 2 RCs or 3 RCs first and then come to the VA questions. I highly doubt that I'll be able to attempt 4 RCs while speaking out loud. So maybe 2 to 3 RCs, whatever I can manage, and then VA, whatever I can manage. And my focus will be completely on accuracy. If I'm not very sure about a question, I will be happy to skip it. It's okay if I attempt less. The score comes from the questions that I'm getting right. Okay, so that's for VRC for today. Now for DILR, what I will do is, first I will make sure that I'm reading all the sets. Maybe not word for word, but I just want to read all of them, get an idea about them, so that I have a good chance of starting off with the easiest set. Okay, then whichever I find easy, either through familiarity or through simple conditions, straightforward conditions, that is a set I would want to start off with. Okay, and then my first set, if I'm not able to make significant progress in 10 minutes, or even after 5, 6 minutes, if I realize that it is complicated, I will be happy to keep it aside and try out some other set. My point is that I don't want to remain stuck on a set for too long. So I keep that maximum time limit of 10 minutes to see whether I can make significant progress in that time. Okay, so that's my, and in DILR again, I don't keep any target. At the beginning, my focus will just be on solving one set. My target will be one set at the beginning. One set which is hopefully the easiest one. And once I've solved one set, my target will again be reset to one set. So I keep thinking of it one set at a time. Because at the beginning, if I think about two sets or three sets, I will be anxious coming into the test. That pressure of achieving the target will be weighing on my mind. And that is why I don't want to keep a very fixed target. So just one set at a time, whatever I can do with that. After that, I'll come to quant. And in quant, I always go one question at a time. I look at the first question. And then if I have a clear plan for it, I will attempt it then and there with a maximum time limit of 2 minutes. If I don't have a clear plan, but I have some plan for it, then I will keep it for later. I'll come back to it later. If I have very little plan or I can't really understand the question properly, I will be happily skipping that question. So that way I'll just tackle the easiest questions first, the questions which I know I can solve. Then I will be coming back to try out the moderate questions, the questions I think I can solve. And I will be happy to leave the difficult ones. After I solve easy and moderate, if I still have time remaining, then I can try out the difficult ones. Okay, but in this entire process, I will make sure that I'm not remaining stuck on a question for too long. Okay, so that is my strategy. I'll follow this strategy as much as possible during the test. And after the test, I will be analyzing my performance, analyzing the test for you guys to some extent. And then we'll be discussing how maybe I could have done better or what students should have done during the test. Okay, we'll see all of that depending upon how the test goes. Now, we are very close to starting. So before we start, just one or two last things. One thing is, I'm sure all of you can see on the screen right now that we have some batches starting this month. Okay, we have some extensive batches this month, 8th July, 24th July, focus batch on 15th July. So if any of you are struggling with your preparation and you are considering joining online classes, okay, then these will be very helpful for you. If you are comfortable with maths, comfortable with quant, then the focus batch will be the appropriate batch for you. Focus batch is meant for people who are comfortable with quant. Okay, so focus batches are more fast paced. We have fewer classes. And if you're comfortable with quant, you get a lot of value out of these focus classes. Very quickly, you go through the syllabus and you get experience with a lot of different topics. Extensive batches, of course, in both batches, we complete the entire syllabus, but extensive batches are meant for people who are weaker at maths, weak, somewhat not very comfortable with quant. And that is why in extensive batches, we have multiple classes for most quant topics. Focus batches for most quant topics, we just have one class per topic. Extensive batches, normally we have two classes per topic so that we can take more time, cover more questions. Okay, so as per that, you can decide which batch is more suitable for you. And if you need help, you can enroll for one of these. The enrollment link will be there in the video description. Okay, so if you check the description for this video, you should see the enrollment link there. And one last thing, okay, we are about to start. We are almost there. One last thing, which is very important is if you want more sessions like this is the first SimCAT solving of this year. If you want more sessions, not just for SimCAT solving, but other sessions like marathons or any other ideas that you have that you want us to deliver, feel free, make sure that you share your support with us. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And once we are done with the live session, make sure that you leave a comment mentioning whether you want more sessions or not. And which kind of sessions. If you want more of SimCAT live solving, if you want marathons, if you want any other type of session for any section, make sure that you post it as a comment after the video, after the live streaming is done. Because based on that, we will be able to decide which sessions we will come up with. Okay, so the sessions we will come up with will depend upon what you want. And of course, we will have more sessions if we get more support from your side. Because if we see that a lot of people are enthusiastic about it and they're getting value from the session, then of course we will increase the sessions. Okay, so if you like the video, if you subscribe, if you post comments, better chance that we will have more sessions like this and other sessions as well. Okay, so that is it. Now it is up to you guys. And having said all of this, now I think we're ready to start with today's session. So let me just launch the test and then I will share my screen. Okay, I'm just confirming if my screen is shared. By the way, I know all of you will have some questions, so I'll give you time to ask your questions at the end. Once I'm done with the test, once I'm done with the analysis, then we'll come to questions. Okay, yes, I can see that all of you can see my screen. I can see it on YouTube. So yeah, I think we can start. So let me take a sip of water. Okay, I'm closing YouTube now. Yeah, I think I can still. Just 1 second, I have to hide the screen. My video is here. Yeah, okay. So this is the first RC I can see. If one were asked to name the slowest and longest living organisms, bacteria would hardly come to mind. Microbes are typically associated with speed. Okay. So something about s- how slowly they live or how fast they live. Second paragraph again about microbes, DNA sequencing, something about energy. Okay, so something about evolution with respect to bacteria and about their growth or the speed of their life and all. Okay, seems to be I'm comfortable with reading it. How I decide which passages I want to attempt is first of all how comfortable I am reading the passage. I'm definitely comfortable with this. It's not complicated and it's hopefully a bit factual as well. So I'll definitely want to attempt this. Now this is what para summary. Okay, autoimmune diseases, DNA damage. Okay, this is also factual, but it seems little bit more complicated and there's a lot to read. Okay, anyway, VA questions I'll decide later. This is also a VA question. Okay, I think I'll just come to VA later. Let me just first look at RCs. Development economics has long proceeded from a relatively stable assumption. Durable social progress follows sustained economic growth. Kerala's trajectory complicates this assumption. Improvements in literacy health rather than, okay, preceded rather than resultant from significant economic income expansion. Okay. Second paragraph again talking about Kerala, third also about Kerala. Okay, seems to be exploration of Kerala's economy and social progress. Okay, I'm comfortable with this. I want to attempt this. This is VA, this is VA. Okay, this is RC, alienation. Okay, alienation. I know what alienation is, but this seems to be abstract philosophy. I'm not very comfortable with that. Identity, displacement, Marxist humanism. No, I'm not really comfortable. I'm not really big into sociology, and this seems to be pretty abstract. So, not very confident about this. Don't think I want to attempt. Anyway, I'll just mark it and I'll keep in mind that, okay, this RC, the third RC, yeah, it's starting from 13. This is one that I will probably skip. Now, let's see the fourth RC before I confirm that. Fourth RC is from 18. Second wrinkle in our belief in an orderly, predictable world emerged from discoveries of quantum mechanics. Okay, I'm not very comfortable with quantum mechanics also. Uh, Not merely governed by elegant deterministic equations, irreducible randomness, small scales of reality outcomes can defy prediction. Okay, so about randomness seems like. Certainties of Newton, indeterminism. Okay, I've got an idea. Uh, Randomness built into the fabric of the universe. Unpredictability is not a failure. Fine. Darwin evolution. Okay, evolution again. Again, across many species. Okay. It doesn't seem to be very technical. Yeah, I'm comfortable with this. I was hoping it would not go into technical details of quantum mechanics. Okay, so I've seen the four RCs. I don't want to attempt this RC with 13. Let me just start off with the other RCs. So if I read it now carefully, okay, first paragraph is saying that normally we think of bacteria and so on with respect to speed. Uh, and some of them, yeah, divide very quickly and so on. But this is only surface life. Beneath Earth's surface, it proceeds at a pace that challenges ordinary assumptions. Okay, so must be slow because we were talking about fast earlier. Okay, next paragraph, if I read. Okay, so microbes buried kilometers underground, they can remain active for very long periods. Their name has been given. They exist in environments which are very energy poor, so reproduction is suspended. So then they're comparing with animals that hibernate and so on. But these are not waiting for predictable cycles. Timescales more commonly associated with geological change than biological activity. Okay, got it. Okay. So it's like it's very slow. Like they are active for very, very long periods. Uh, and environments are very energy poor. And they're comparing with hibernating animals. Okay, got it. Next paragraph. Advances in DNA sequencing identify microbes directly from environment rather than cultivating in labs. Okay. Vast ecosystems within Earth's crust populated by interterrestrials inhabiting tiny pores in sediment fractures, sometimes as deep as 5 kilometers below the surface. Meaningful inputs of new energy may be separated by thousands of years. Okay, this is related to the geological change part. Got it? Scarcity at this scale alters the basic logic of life, and much of the subsurface insufficient energy to support even minimal rates of cell division. Okay, so there's not enough energy for cell division, so that is why they're remaining inactive. Uh, or active without doing much. Okay, so instead of reproducing, devoting their limited power to maintaining cellular integrity, repairing damage just quickly enough to avoid that. So they are just surviving. They can't reproduce, they're just surviving. They survive on power levels orders of magnitude lower than those required to sustain non-growing cultures of familiar bacteria. Okay, much less power is required for them. Long-term metabolic dormancy becomes the dominant state rather than emergency response. Okay. Conceptual difficulty, how long can an organism persist when growth is absent and change is barely perceptible? In principle, no fixed upper limit, provided repair continues to outpace decay. Okay. Ambiguous zone between longevity and immortality. They're not eternal. Lifespans extend far beyond conventional biological expectations. Okay, so almost immortal, we can think. Usual markers of life, growth, reproduction, and so on become unreliable guides. Okay. These organisms also complicate standard accounts of evolution. Natural selection presumes reproduction, yet these may pass tens of thousands of years without dividing. Okay, so it doesn't follow that natural selection theory that we are used to. One way to resolve this tension is to reconsider dormancy. Surface organisms endure harsh seasons to gain later advantage, reproductive advantage. These may be waiting for rare disruptions like earthquakes to suddenly deliver energy after immense delays. For a being whose lifespan spans geological epochs, such events may be neither accidental nor improbable. Because over a long period of time, of course, probability that earthquake or something will happen is almost guaranteed. Okay, seen through this lens, they force a reconsideration of how life relates to time and energy. From a thermodynamic perspective, life can be understood as a process maintains systems far from equilibrium in order to dissipate energy. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, so they accomplish this not through speed or abundance, but through persistence. By spreading minimal metabolic activity across vast stretches of time, they extend the temporal domain over which life operates. Okay, so basically they'll survive for a very long time because of minimal metabolic activity. And if life elsewhere follows similarly slow rhythms, it may escape detection precisely because it changes too little within human observation windows. Okay, so if it's this slow, we might not be able to detect it. Okay, so I have an idea. Now let's see the questions. All of the following can reasonably be inferred from the passage except that. DNA sequencing can uncover entire ecosystem that traditional lab methods are unable to grow or even detect. Yes. Even at the end, we just saw something like this. It may escape detection. So there is a chance it may escape detection. And where do we have DNA? Okay, DNA sequencing. Existence advances in DNA sequencing that allowed them to identify microbes directly rather than cultivating. Okay, so because of these advances, they could identify. Okay, so yeah, it seems to make sense that they couldn't cultivate or detect them before, but now with the advances in DNA sequencing, because of that, they can do it. Yeah, so the first option seems to be fine. We are looking for options which can be inferred. Yeah, I think this can be inferred. Advances in DNA sequencing, because of it, we could do that. Yeah, this seems fair. Next one, in some cases, organisms can survive mainly by maintaining themselves over time instead of reproducing frequently. Hmm. Yeah, this was mentioned. Yeah, instead of reproducing, they devote their limited power to maintaining, survive on power levels. I was talking about that only, surviving by maintaining themselves instead of reproducing. Yes, confirmed. Next question, discovery of anophiles overturns evolutionary theory by showing reproduction is unnecessary for natural selection. Seems a bit extreme. Evolutionary theory, let me just come to that. Evolution. Natural selection presumes something, yet they may pass without dividing. One way to resolve this is to reconsider. Okay, it seemed like does it's not mentioned that it's overturning evolutionary theory. It's not like it's just discarding it. It's just that it's complicating standard accounts of evolution, like natural selection, where overturning means that you are going completely against it. So yeah, I think this seems to be wrong, but let's check the last one. When life does not show long-term metabolic, becomes much harder. Yeah, that was directly in the last part. Okay, yeah. So other options I eliminated. I'll go with the third one. Next question, scarcity at this scale alters the basic logic of life most nearly means that. Let's look for that phrase. Scarcity at this scale alters the basic logic of life. Scarcity of what? Meaningful inputs of new energy may be separate. Okay, so scarcity of energy. Uh, Insufficient energy for that. That is why they don't reproduce. So something about energy scarcity is for the energy part. And then reproduction is not there, just maintenance is there. Okay. When energy is extremely limited, focus on conserving rather than this seems perfect. Okay, next one, life deep underground appears to follow biological differ, nothing about energy here. Very harsh conditions, reduce or stop reproduction, focus on surviving. This also seems right. Last one, if I check, long geological timescales, slow down. No, 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 this nothing about scarcity or energy. Okay. So first one and third one, if I consider, both are similar, conserving it rather than on growth. Here, reduce or stop reproduction rather than on growth. Um, yeah, but first one definitely seems to be more appropriate because it's actually talking about energy and scarcity is for that energy. Harsh conditions could be anything else also. Okay, I'll go with the first one. Next one, if I see suggestion that rare geological disruptions may function as evolutionary opportunities, depends on which one of the following. Rare Geological disruption, evolutionary opportunities, depends on which assumption. Okay, so rare geological disruption must be like those earthquakes and all. And why they will be energy opportunities? So that they get energy from the earthquakes. No? We read something like that. Yeah. Rare disruptions like earthquakes suddenly deliver energy. So it's about the energy part. Okay, so if you see special abilities that help them sense and take advantage, evolution through natural selection can still work even when they don't reproduce. Sometimes bring enough energy. Okay, at least this is talking about energy. Underground ecosystems go through changes that are almost similar to seasonal cycles on the surface. These disruptions function as evolutionary opportunities, depend on which assumption. See, these disruptions, they help by suddenly delivering energy. And then they can use that energy to reproduce and so on. So that helps with evolution. Uh, but here it's also been given they complicate standard accounts of evolution. Natural selection presumes reproduction, yet they pass tens of thousands of years. Maybe the second option. Evolution through natural selection can still work when they do not reproduce. I think something like that is there. They presumes natural selection, yet. So reproduction is very important to natural selection, but it's been given here in a negative sense for aenophiles, yet they may pass tens of thousands of years. Yeah, so maybe this one, at least this part of the passage seems to be supporting it. Okay, I'll go with this. Next one, what does the author mean by the statement from a okay, this is the sentence I couldn't understand. From a thermodynamic perspective, life can be understood as a process that maintains system far from equilibrium. No, I don't really understand this. So I'll skip this question. I'll go to the second RC. Okay, so development economics has long proceeded from a relatively stable assumption. Durable social progress follows sustained economic growth. Okay, first economic growth, then social progress. That is the assumption. But Kerala's trajectory complicates this by presenting sequence in which improvements in literacy, health, and so on, social progress preceded rather than resultant from income expansion. So first these social progress things happened, then income expansion happened. So opposite in Kerala. The case therefore invites a reconsideration of whether economic prosperity is the cause consequence, merely one component of broader developmental change. Okay. In the decades following Indian independence, Kerala remained comparatively poor when measured through income. It displayed social indicators far exceeded those of wealthier regions. Okay, so that's a okay. Scholars initially attributed this divergence to deliberate political choices, strong public investment in education, healthcare, social reform movement challenging hierarchy. Influential left tradition prioritized redistribution over accumulation. This interpretation state demonstrated that human capabilities could expand independently of rapid industrialization, thereby offering an implicit critique of growth-first developmental models. Okay, so as per this interpretation, uh, social indicators were very good because of deliberate political choices like public investment, social reform movements, and redistribution over accumulation. Okay. Such narratives, however, risk overstating ideological intentionality, understating historical structure. Kerala's long-standing integration into maritime trade networks produced a socially diverse and outward-looking economy. Okay, so the social changes could be because of this integration into maritime trade networks before modern policy interventions emerged. Okay. Religious pluralism, patterns of migration, exposure to external markets generated social mobility, literacy incentives cannot be reduced to political ideology. Okay, so it's not just because of the political ideology, this is also important. And this happened before, in fact, and high social development coexisted with weak domestic investment. Welfare achievements did not automatically generate productive expansion. Okay, so social development happened, but that economic or productive expansion didn't happen. So welfare achievements did not automatically generate the economic expansion. Okay. Uh, Labor militancy regulatory constraints in the post-independence decades contributed to the withdrawal of private capital from industry and agriculture. Okay, so actually economy was not doing well with this. Deepening concerns about stagnation, fiscal fragility, but social indicators were good. Okay. Apparent paradox, high welfare alongside economic inertia, resolved not through internal transformation, but through external integration. Okay, external. So beginning in the late 1970s, large-scale migration to the Persian Gulf introduced sustained remittance flows. It altered household economies. Okay, the remittance part. That's the external part. Initially supporting consumption construction, they became a source of capital, financing small enterprises, different sectors. Okay, the influx of migrant earnings effectively substituted for missing domestic investment, allowing economic restructuring without abandoning existing welfare commitments. Okay, domestic investment was not there, so the remittance worked, the external factor, without abandoning existing welfare commitments. Okay. Political institutions adapted, left-oriented governments associated with state control, class-based mobilization, moderated their stance towards, okay, so it became less extreme, moderated their stance. Rather than reversing earlier welfare policies, they sought to reconcile them with market expansion through infrastructure investment, decentralized, more pragmatic relationship with capital, blurred conventional ideological distinctions, political framework once viewed as anti-market became instrumental. Okay, so many things happened. This political, let's say, perspective changed. Then the remittance thing happened, and the maritime trade network. So we've seen three reasons for this. Okay. By early 21st century, income levels had risen significantly above national averages, prompting a reassessment of earlier interpretations. New prosperity introduced contradictions of its own. Economic dynamism increasingly depended on remittance-backed consumption, service sector expansion, environmentally sensitive tourism, raising concerns about ecological strain, structural dependence on external labor markets. Okay. So dependence on remittance-backed consumption was there, and there was strain and dependence on external labor markets. Okay. Aging population, uneven higher education outcomes further complicated the sustainability of growth. Okay. Sustainability is not guaranteed. Kerala's experience does resist linear exploration, neither confirms primacy of welfare-led development nor validates unqualified market liberalism, suggests that development trajectories emerge from the interaction of historical connectivity, political adaptability, demographic transitions, global economic linkages. States transformation underscores a broader lesson. Development is less a single pathway than a sequence of negotiated adjustments. Success depends not on ideological purity, but on the capacity to absorb and reinterpret structural change over time. Okay, so it's not a single path. There are multiple different things. Yeah, so we saw all of those. Let's come to the questions. Passage challenges linear development models primarily by suggesting that social welfare programs can permanently replace economic growth. No, it was not just social welfare. Maritime trade networks were also there, and the political part was also there. Okay, let me just quickly revise. Uh, the political institution, how they changed. Remittances was also there. Maritime trade networks were also there. Okay. Yeah, so not just this. Then arguing that market-oriented reforms naturally fix the problems. No, again, it's just one thing here. Uh, Showing that development is shaped by shifting interactions among historical, political, global forces. Yeah, this is better. Multiple things, and asserting that external remittance are the decisive factor. No. Yeah, just by eliminating other options seems to be third option should be correct. Because clearly the passage has been about that's not just one thing. Okay, so I'll go with this. Next one, which of the following best explains how political adaptability and structural change are connected? Political adaptability and structural change. Left-oriented governments historically associated with control moderated their stance rather than reversing earlier policies. They sought to reconcile. Okay, I think that is it. Structural change was that instead of reversing earlier policies, they sought to reconcile with market expansion. Okay. So first one, supported change by adjusting their ideas to fit new economic realities while still retaining their earlier welfare. Yeah, this seems to be good. They did adjust their idea, moderated their stance, and to fit new economic, they adapted because of that, retaining the earlier, yeah, rather than reversing it. Seems fine, but I'll still see the other options. Economic change happened independently of political institution. No, no, no. Clearly, it's been given that they did have some impact, uh, mainly driven by remittance. No, we can't say that. It's not been mentioned. Political flexibility appeared only after economic change had already been completed. No, it's been given that simultaneously they adapted. Okay, and became instrumental in enabling market-driven growth. So not this one also. Economic change required removing earlier welfare and redistribution. No, it's been given clearly here. Rather than reversing, they sought to reconcile. So this is also eliminated. First one should be. Okay. Next one, which one of the following best explains how the paradox of high welfare alongside in economic inertia was resolved? Let's come to that paradox part. Okay. Was resolved not through internal transformation, but through external integration, migration, and remittance. Okay, so the external integration, which was migration and remittance. Let's see where we have that. Restructuring, no. Existing welfare, no. Labor activism, strict regulations, no. Using remittance, yeah. Remittance from overseas to make up for weak. Yeah, exactly what is given. Okay, this is a pretty direct one. Next one, all of the following statements are supported except Kerala displayed unusually strong indicators relative to income levels, social indicators, of course, relative to income levels in the decades. Yes, this was given, I remember. Kerala's eventual economic expansion required a fundamental departure from its earlier welfare-oriented political framework. Uh, yeah, I think so. Fundamental departure from earlier political framework. No, we just read this. Rather than reversing, they sought to reconcile. So it's not a fundamental departure. It's not like it's been changed completely. It's been reconciled. Okay, this seems like it can be the correct one. Yeah, something that is not supported. Okay. Next one, I'll just eliminate. Historical exposure to maritime trade patterns of migration shaped social development independently of IDO. Yeah, that I think was mentioned. Before modern policy interventions emerged, and this maritime trade networks help. Yeah, I think that is supported. Labor militancy, regulatory constraints contributed to, yeah, that was given, I guess. Yeah, this part contributed to withdrawal, concerns about stagnation. Yeah, okay. So I think all of these are supported except this part. Fundamental departure is contradicting that reconciliation. So I'll go with this. Okay, it's my speed has been reduced significantly because I'm reading everything loud. Now I have to make a choice. Should I do this RC or should I do VA questions? I think I'll go for the RC. Normally my accuracy is better in RC, so I stick with the RCs. Then if I can do maybe one or two VA questions, let's see. Otherwise, I'm fine with RCs. Okay, this RC, the second wrinkle in a belief in an orderly, predictable world, emerged from discoveries of quantum mechanics in early 20th century. Okay, scientists found that the universe is not merely governed by elegant deterministic equations infused with irreducible randomness. Even at smallest scales of reality, outcomes can defy prediction, shift move science from certainties of Newton towards a world in which indeterminism is important. Through some interpretations of quantum physics maintain deterministic structure, broader lesson was unmistakable. Fundamental workings of nature include an element of unpredictability. Okay, so it's just that we can't really determine everything completely. Randomness, unpredictability is there. Okay. And this was through discoveries in quantum mechanics. Okay. This realization profoundly reshaped our sense of causality. Randomness is built into the fabric of the universe. Unpredictability is not a failure of our models, inherent feature of reality. As scientists soon discovered, this extends deeply into evolution. Okay. Darwinian evolution, understood as process shaped by clear directional forces, natural selection, seemed orderly, purposeful as they adapted. In 1960s, someone introduced neutral theory of molecular evolution, which challenged this. Argued that most genetic mutations are not helpful or harmful. They are simply neutral, arbitrary tweaks that drift through populations by chance rather than selection. Okay. Evolution at molecular level was far more haphazard. Okay, got it. So normally we feel like every mutation has a reason, evolutionary reason. That is the theory we used to, but this is saying that it is more by chance. It was neutral and happened by chance rather than selection. Okay. So evidence accumulated across many species when whether studying viruses or other creatures and so on, countless mutations shaping evolutionary history were neither purposeful nor adaptive. Accidents that still altered the course of life. It became clear that evolutionary changes depended on long chains of seemingly meaningless events, each one enabling the next. Fortunate mutation might help an organism thrive, but only because of dozens of arbitrary neutral changes had come before it. Okay. Someone's experiment, which has been running for a while, illustrated this by cultivating populations of E. coli bacteria over tens of thousands of generations, showed that major adaptations, ability to metabolize citrate, arose only after a series of neutral contingent mutations. Okay. If any one of these haphazard tweaks had not occurred, the later transformation would have been impossible. Okay, evolution at times is less a story of purposeful adaptation, more a tale of flukes and accumulated work. So same thing. It's more of chance and luck rather than purpose. Implication is unsettling but clear. Outcomes that appear inevitable rest on chains of accidental events, whether in physics, biology, human history, chance and luck coexist. Same thing. Taken together, quantum randomness, molecular drift, and the cascading consequences of small historical contingencies reveal a world shaped as much by chance as by law, remind us that profound transformations, whether in physics, biology, human affairs, can emerge not from grand predictable forces, but from the tiniest, most accidental events. It's most of the passages seem to be very similar, that they're just talking that everything we can't really determine, even evolution, and it's been more through chance and luck rather than purpose. Okay. I'll keep referring to the passage if required. So which of the following best summarizes? Okay, so that randomness or chance thing is very important. And then we started with quantum mechanics. And then we moved into evolution. And evolution we spoke about for a while. Then that E. coli thing, it was again about the evolution. And then it's not just quantum or evolution, but other things also like physics, biology. Okay, so I think if I look at it myself, it's the randomness or uncertainty, the luck part. That is, of course, the major theme of this. Then quantum mechanics, evolution, and other areas also it's applicable. Okay, that seems to be the summary I'm getting. If I see this, research in quantum biology shows that many things once believed to be purposeful are actually caused by random mutations and unpredictable physical events. Okay, it doesn't seem to be bad, but it's not covering other areas. And see, this mutation seem to be mostly for that evolution part. It's not very broad. Okay, this seems to be a bit narrow, but it's still an option. Can't eliminate it right now. Next one, experiments such as this E. coli showed that major. No, no, no. This is obviously incorrect. This is just for evolution, not for quantum mechanics or other areas. So not this. Discoveries in quantum evolutionary biology have shown that randomness is a basic part of reality, shaping outcomes, physics, biology, history. Yeah, I like this option. It's covering all the important parts, randomness part also, quantum part, evolution part, other areas also. This seems perfect. Although natural laws still guide the universe, some scientific interpretation, determinism can remain even when. No, no, this was going against the passage. Okay, so out of the first one and the third one, yeah, third one seems much better. It's covering all the areas. First one seems too narrow. It's focusing on mutations and all, but not talking about other areas. Yeah, I'll go with the third one. Next one, in the context of the author's discussion of quantum mechanics, molecular evolution, historical contingency, captures the tension the passage identifies between law and contingency. Okay, let's read the options. Laws are increasingly being displaced by evidence that randomness alone governs. No, I don't think it mentioned that randomness fund include an element of unpredictability. So this seems too extreme. Okay, I think I can eliminate this. Events may appear random. Deeper scientific interpretations preserve a fully deterministic account of physical and biological processes. Fully deterministic, no. It's again given randomness is included. So this is again too extreme. Chance events occasionally modify lawful processes. Overall direction remains largely predictable. No, this is going against the passage that unpredictability is there. Scientific laws structure the broad framework of reality. Specific outcomes within that framework often depend on chains of accidental contingent events. Yeah, this seems good. Okay, because it's not very extreme. It's saying that scientific laws structure the broad framework, but then specific things within that framework depend on chains of accidental contingent events. Yeah, but others I think seem too extreme. First two options are definitely too extreme. Randomness alone, fully deterministic, those are eliminated. And third and fourth, uh, third one, chance events occasionally modify. Okay, overall direction remains largely predictable. No, I think that is not being supported. Yeah, it was not given that overall direction of evolution is predictable. We had examples, in fact, that said that it was arbitrary, happened through chance. Okay, this seems fine. Next one, which of the following, if true, would most weaken the passage's claim that neutral mutations play a decisive role in shaping evolutionary outcomes? Okay, let's read it. Would weaken the claim. Okay, weaken the claim that neutral mutations play a decisive role. Passage is saying that neutral mutations play a decisive role, but we have to look for argument against that. Okay. Many mutations initially classified as neutral are later found to confer extremely small selective advantages detectable only over long time scales. Initially classified as neutral. Oh, extremely small selective advantages. Neutral mutations have to play a decisive role, and what was given here? Neutral, I can see. So something neutral happened, and because of that, some other transformation happened. Okay. Classified as neutral, confer extremely small. It's not decisive role. Okay. First option, I think I can eliminate extremely small advantage. Next one, citrate metabolizing would have eventually happened through alternative genetic pathways, even if earlier mutations. So, okay, yeah, this makes sense because if there are other ways, alternative pathways, and even if the earlier ones had not occurred, this would have still happened, then the neutral ones don't have a decisive role if there are other ways for the same thing to happen. Okay, this seems fine. Next one, in highly stable environments, populations often accumulate large numbers of neutral mutations without any observable change in form or function. Okay, so a lot of neutral mutations are happening, but nothing is changing. So this also seems to say that it doesn't play a decisive role. Anyway, last one, some evolutionary biologists argue that apparent randomness reflects limits in current measurement techniques rather than genuine biological contingency. No, this seems to be unrelated. This is not about neutral being very instrumental. So let's see the second and third one. Okay, if we check second and third one, alternative pathways are there. That makes the neutral thing not decisive. And large numbers of neutral mutations, but without anything changing. Okay, I think here it's been given that a lot of neutral things happened, then other things would have happened. So neutral things directly might not produce a change, but they might open up ways for other things. So maybe I can eliminate this option. Anyway, this logic seems to be sound for the second option. And if other options are there and it would still have happened, then of course it's not very important. I'll go with this. Last one, in the sentence, they remind us that profound transformations, whether in physics, biology, or human affairs, can emerge not from grand predictable forces, but from tiniest, most accidental events. Which one of the following best describes use of the word grand? Grand predictable forces. Profound transformation can emerge not from grand predictable forces. Okay. Admirable or noble forces shape history through deliberate human intention. This is nothing about human intention. Grand predictable forces would seem something like evolution or something we are talking about like natural selection, not human intention. Okay. Complex scientific laws, mathematical sophistication makes them difficult. Nothing like this was mentioned. Uh, Nothing about maths here. Implies dramatic, spectacular events that attract public attention. Okay, nothing public attention doesn't make sense here. Large scale law like forces, traditionally assumed to drive major change in a systematic and predictable. Uh, yeah, I think based on elimination of other options, this has to be correct. Yeah, nothing about human intention, nothing about mathematical sophistication or public attention. All those seem to be irrelevant to what we are talking about here, like something like natural selection. Yeah, so fourth option seems to be fine. Okay, so unfortunately, I did not have time to attempt VA questions. As I said, my speed will be reduced. That can't be helped. But hopefully, accuracy will save me. That's at least what I can hope for. And now let's forget about VRC. Okay, whatever happened, I have no idea, but let's come to DIR. First, I'll read this. So we have 10 students appeared in the National Common Admission Test. All of their total scores were distinct. Examination had three sections, 22, 22, 24. Okay, like the current CAT format. And each correct answer, 3 marks, penalty of 1 for every incorrect CAT format. No penalty for a question not attempted. Total score of a student was sum of their scores in the three sections. Student should score at least 30% of the maximum possible in a section to clear the section. Okay. Among these 10 students, 6 cleared quant, 4 DILR, 5 VRC. Okay, so situation seems to be simple only. I'm comfortable with the scoring pattern part. +3, -1, IMS students will know we've done in classes in module 2. But we have this condition of at least 30% of maximum possible. And then how many students cleared? Let's see the questions to get a better idea. What can be the maximum value of the total scores? Okay, something about maximizing value of total scores of some students. Okay. Student scored 17. How many distinct combinations of correct, incorrect are possible? Yeah, this seems to be pretty easy. Previous one, again, might still take time. The maximum part, the student who cleared all three sections, that might take time, but this seems to be a pretty direct question. Okay, this one maybe I'll solve. Let's see. What can be the maximum value of the total marks of all the students who cleared exactly two sections? So we'll still have to come to this condition. Clearing section like 30% of maximum and how many students are clearing. Okay, so again, doesn't seem to be that easy. And total score of students who cleared exactly two sections is maximized. Maximum, nah, seems a bit complicated. Total score of students who cleared two, same thing. Highest possible value of lowest total score. Yeah, again, seems to be a bit complicated. So, okay, see, I think I can solve this set, but I'm not very sure because I have to figure out how to deal with these conditions at the end. Scoring system I'm clear with, but the conditions at the end and then the maximum minimum part, I'm not very sure about this. I'll have to try it out to see whether I can actually solve. So maybe not the first set, but second question doesn't seem to be related to this condition. Yeah, the clearing a section part doesn't. So I think I can solve this second question. Anyway, I'll still, that's just one question. Let me look at other sets. 7 scholars presented paper at 7-day symposium. Each scholar presented on a different day of the week, Monday to Sunday, each on a unique topic. 7 topics. Okay, so 7 scholars, 7 days, 7 topics, like matrix arrangement. Uh, yeah, that only. We have clues for that. Now, see, of course, the seems simple overall. Like everyone can think how to make the table, of course. Seems like matrix arrangement, but whether it is will be easy or not now, let's see the conditions. C presented after B but before E. Okay, that's a very deductive condition. Over 7 days, we have relative order of three people, but these could be any 3 days. Ecology was scheduled on Monday. Okay, that's a direct point. G presented on maths, that's direct, but not on Sunday. Okay, that part is deductive. D on Ayurveda, that's direct. Session after F's is pretty deductive. Linguistic after Charvies, but not on Sunday. Okay, that is also deductive. Isha did not present on linguistic metaphysics, deductive. Metaphysics took place immediately after presentation philosophy, deductive. Only one scholar after metaphysics. Okay, this is direct. If there's only one scholar after metaphysics, then metaphysics has to be the second last one. And previous point is related to that. Okay, now this part is manageable. Neither A nor C presented on philosophy or metaphysics. That is again deductive. Okay, I'll definitely try out this set. Uh, Now, whether it will be my first set or not depends on the other one. Looking at the conditions, I can see there are some direct points, but of course, it's 7 days, and we have a lot of detective points about the order, like after B, but before E. Over 7 days, these could be any 3 days. Yeah, so with respect to the days, I think there are a lot of deductive points, so I don't think it will be very easy. Let's see the questions. How many presenters can we uniquely determine subject of presentation as well as the day? And okay, so there's a chance that we might not be able to find everything, might not be able to find for every presenter. That might make it a little bit more complicated. Definitely scheduled before presentation. Okay, so we might not know how many presentations were scheduled between A and C. Again, multiple possibilities are there. Whose presentation between E and Dhruv? Okay. How many is are definitely correct? Okay, so this is giving me the sense that either we will not be able to find everything or we'll get multiple cases. This question and other questions will definitely, they are indicating that. I still think I can solve, but maybe I can give 10 minutes, but first set or not, let's see. Let's see the other sets. Next one, if we check, organizers of some league are holding an auction for upcoming season. 4 teams are there. Okay, rules of the auction, 20 players in the auction pool, every single player was sold. Okay, each franchise had built a squad of 5 players. Okay, 20 players, each one 5 players. And there are four of them, 4 into 520. Three categories, raider, defender, all-rounder. Each franchise had to buy at least one player. So everyone is buying 5 players, and out of those 5, we need at least one from each of these categories. Okay. Budget, maximum budget 80 lakhs. Did not have to exhaust if they could buy the players for less than 80 lakhs. Okay, so maximum is 80, less than is also fine. Base prices, defender, raider, all-rounders, base prices are given. Final selling prices, integer multiples of 5 lakhs. Okay, that should help. It can't be any value, it has to be multiple of 5 lakhs. Yeah, that makes things a bit convenient. No player could be sold below their base price. Okay. Premium is the amount paid over a player's base price. Okay. Then we have, okay, so that was just the instructions of the auction. Now we have the conditions. Exactly 6 all-rounders were sold. Panipat bought maximum possible number of all-rounders. Could buy subject. Okay, that's a pretty direct point. Yeah, they exhausted the entire 80 lakhs budget. All-rounders at different prices. Did not secure sole defender at base price. Okay. Bought exactly 3 defenders. Raider account for exactly 50% of 80 lakhs. Every other were secured as. Okay, this is very direct. Exactly 3 defenders, exactly 50% of 80 lakhs, and other people at base prices. Yeah, this is a direct condition. Hisar bought more raiders than defenders. Only one player, Hisar, was bought at a premium, so others will be base prices. All rounder 25 lakhs. That is also direct. Okay. Sonipat spent 15 lakhs more than Hisar's total. For Sonipat, both raiders were bought at same price. Both defenders were bought at same price. Sonipat paid more for each of their defenders than for each of their raiders. Okay, so it seems to be related to others, like Hisar, if we can find which was, okay, we'll have to see, but Hisar, if we can find, then we can find this Sonipat also. Overall, yeah, overall, I think this seems to be manageable because this part, especially integer multiples of 5 lakhs, so possibilities will be limited. And here we can see, for example, condition 3 is very, very direct. Yeah, so I think seems like a good set to attempt. Okay, right now I'm leaning towards this one and the second one. Both of these I'll definitely want to try out. Now, which is the next one? Okay, we just have four sets. Okay, that is good. Four traders named ABCD deal in rare gold coins. At the start of a 3-day trading festival, they possessed a distinct positive integer number of gold coins. Total number of gold coins among the four of them was exactly 100. This total remained strictly constant throughout the festival. Total remained the same of 100. Okay, but individual we don't know right now. Over the 3 days, exactly 6 one-way transfers took place, exactly 2 transfers each day. No trader was involved in more than one transfer. Okay. Day 1, A transferred to B, C to D. Okay, all the transfers have been given on each of the days and distinct positive integers. At the end of day 3, all four traders ended up with exactly same number of gold coins. Okay. Total number of gold coins transferred on the days given. Amal's initial number was exactly twice number of coins B transferred to C on day 2. Absolute difference between B's initial and C's initial was 1. Coins A transferred on day 1 even number less than number of coins. At the end of day 1, D's coin balance was prime number, C's initial multiple of 11 exactly to prime. No, every single condition here is deductive. Yeah, and we don't even know their initial numbers and so on, and all of these are deductive. No, this seems to be definitely difficult. Okay, so I think I'll focus on these two sets as my first two. And out of the first set, first I can try out this question. Then if I still have time remaining, I can look at other questions. Now, out of this one and out of this one. Okay, I think I'll start with this one because that multiple of 5 condition and this direct condition, even other conditions which are pretty direct, this seems to be convenient. Let me see if I can make a lot of progress in 10 minutes. Okay, let me split the screen. Okay, so if you look at this, so we need these 4 teams, and for each team, we need these categories. So we can make a table. What are the 4 teams? RR, PP, SS, HH. And for each team, the categories are what? RDA. Let me just quickly confirm if everyone can see the screen on which I'm writing. I'm sharing my entire screen, so it should be visible, but let me just quickly confirm this on YouTube. Yeah, I can see that it's visible. Okay. So I made the table. Now what to do? If we see, okay, every franchise had to build a squad of 5 players. So each of them will have 5 players. Okay, we need 5 total here also, here also, here also, here also. Uh, each franchise had to buy at least 1 player from each category. We'll keep that in mind. Budget is 80 lakhs. Okay. Base prices, let's write down the base prices. Defenders is 5. Raiders is 10. And all-rounders 15. Okay. Integer multiple of 5 lakhs. Okay. Now if we come to this, exactly six all-rounders. So for all-rounders, we have exactly six of them. I'm putting the prices in brackets and the number of players just like that. Panipat PP bought maximum possible number of all-rounders. Any single team could buy subject to other rules. Okay, so the rule is, of course, we need at least one of each. And Panipat maximum number of all-rounders. So we need minimum one of raiders, minimum one of defenders, and therefore maximum all-rounders we can have is three. Yeah, maximum all-rounders subject to rules. Yeah, should be three. Uh, they exhausted entire 80 lakhs budget. Okay, they've used up the entire 80 lakhs and three all-rounders at different prices did not secure their sole defender as base price. Okay, three all-rounders at different prices. Okay, let's see what we can have as the minimum. Whenever I want to get an idea about possibilities, I look at minimum or maximum. So all-rounder minimum, anything about premium? No, okay. So minimum 15 plus 20 plus 25. Multiples of 5 starting from 15. Okay, that brings us to 60. And Raiders minimum is 10. Defenders is not at the base price. So defenders minimum is also 10. 60, 10, 10, exactly 80. Yeah, seems to be perfect. So yeah, see, this is the importance, the benefit of doing minimum, maximum when you have multiple possibilities with numbers. Questions are designed that way. 15, 20, 25. Minimum we took possible, three different. Here minimum 10 and here not at base price, minimum 10. So we are getting 80. Perfect. We are done with Panipat. RR bought three defenders. Okay, that is direct. Three defenders. And we need minimum one of this, minimum one of this. Fine. We are done with that five. Raider accounted for 50% of 80 lakh budget. So Raider will be 50% of 80, which is 40 lakh. 40 lakh for this Raider. Okay. And every other player at base price. Oh, easy. So this is just 5. This is just 15. So total is 45, 15, 60. Okay, we are done with RR also. Next, Hisar bought more Raiders than defenders. Hisar more Raiders than defenders. Okay. Why is this happening? And only one player was bought at a premium. That player was all-rounder for 25 lakhs. Okay, so do we have just one all-rounder here for 25 or can we have more all-rounders also? Okay, we need more raiders than defenders. See, we need minimum one. Let's start with that. We need minimum one in all of them. If I need more raiders than defenders, then this will have to be at least two. 2, 1, 1, that is 4. Okay, after this, I don't know. And what do we have? Sonipat, 15 lakhs more than Hisar's total. So I will need to come to Hisar's total. Okay, if I try, see, defender, if I increase it to 2, then raider will be 3, but then our total will become 6. So defender cannot be 2. Defender has to be 1. Now here, do I have this as 2? No, then this will be 3, 3, 1, 1. Or can I have this 2 and this 2? It's not been given that raiders is the maximum. What about the questions? How many raiders were sold entire? There's no cannot be determined. No cannot be. Okay, that means there has to be one case which has to be correct. And what do we have? Only one person at a premium, that was all-rounder, other at base prices. Okay, if we check, let's say maybe if we check that there's only one all-rounder here and therefore three raiders. If we check all their base prices, here we'll get 10, 10, 10. Here we'll get 5 and here 25. So 30, uh, 10, 10, 10, 30, and another 30, 60. And then SS will be 15 more. 15 more than 60 will be 75. That is possible within 80. But if I try the other possibility, have to check. If I have two here, one for 25 and the other one will be at base price, so 15. And then this will be two raiders more than defenders. Yeah, so base price is 10, 10. What will I get? 45 plus 20, 65. And more than that will be 15 lakhs, more than that will be 80. Okay, let's try this. If this doesn't work, we'll go back to the previous case. So SS here, if you're getting this 40, 65, then here we'll get 80. And both the raiders same price. So let's say XX, two raiders. Both the defenders, so 2, so same price, YY, and here 1. Defender, they paid more for than the raiders. Okay. All-rounder base price, so all-rounder 15. Okay, I can see it. Yeah. 2x plus 2y plus 15 will be 80. So 2x plus 2y will be 65, and then x plus y will be 32.5. But x and y have to be multiples of 5, so that will not work. Okay. So this case is not working. So that means the other case has to be valid, that instead of two all-rounders, we have one all-rounder. Okay. One all-rounder and therefore three raiders. And this was given base price. Yeah. So 10, 10, 10, 30, 55, 60. And 15 more than that, 75. So I'm getting 2x plus 2y plus 15 is 75. So 60, x plus y 30. X plus y 30 and paid more for defenders than they did for raiders. So y has to be more than x. Okay, so first possibility for x. See, if I take x as 10, then y will be 20. If I take x as 10, which is the minimum I can take, base price, then y will be 20. That is fine. If I take x as 15, then y will also be 15. That will not work. If I take x as 20, y will be 10. That will, okay, so it has to be 10. X has to be 10 so that y becomes 20. That's the only way in which y will be greater than x. Yeah, I think I'm done. I've found all of this. Okay, let's come to the questions. How many raiders were sold? Raiders 1, 1, 2, 3. So 7. Okay. Highest final price for any defender. If we check any defender, highest price I can see is 20. Yeah. Following teams had lowest average cost per player. They have the same number of players, so lowest average should be the lowest sum. Okay, let's check the sum. RR we got 60. Next 80, 75, 60. So there are two of them for which we are getting 60. But here only one should be correct. We made a mistake. Let me just check. RR also I'm getting 60 and this also. Oh, this three people were there. So this should be 555 now. Let me just confirm for RR. Three defenders. So 555, sorry. Silly mistake. So increase of 10, this should be 70. Yeah, 70. So now lowest I can see HH. Okay, hopefully this was the only silly mistake. What is the sum of the final selling prices of all rounders? Okay, all rounders if I add 15, 15, 20, 25. So 50, 75 plus 15, 90, 90 plus 25 should be 115. Absolute difference between total amount spent on all raiders and all defenders. Raiders 40, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 40 and 60, 100. Yeah. And defenders 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5. So 20, 20, 20, 60, 70. Can you just check? Yeah, 170. So difference should be 30. Okay, done. Now let's come to this one. Okay, this one I have to think the table. We need 7 names, 7 subjects, and 7 days. We'll structure as per the days, of course, Monday to Sunday. Here I don't have too much space. Can I fit in Monday, Tuesday? Okay, maybe if I write very small, or I'll bring it to the left. Okay, so I'm structuring as per the days because we have conditions also related to the days. Okay, this is too long. Okay. Now let's start noting down the conditions. Okay, so we have that C after B. So wherever we had B, C after that, and C before E. Okay. Eco on Monday. So I can directly start with that. I'm leaving some space in case I get multiple cases. Uh, Not sure whether I will get table with missing values or multiple cases, but because of this question, I'm just being careful. So Monday ecology. Okay. So let's put that at the top. Okay, name we can put below, that is fine. Gaurav maths, but not on Sunday. Okay, so on Sunday, I don't have too much space there, so I'll just put it here. We have Gaurav maths. Okay, but this is not on Sunday. Dhruv Ayurveda after Falgunis. Dhruv Ayurveda, sorry, after Falgunis. So we'll have Falgunis sometime, then we'll have Dhruv, and Dhruv is Ayurveda. Linguistic after C's, but not on Sunday. Maybe I can put it here only next to C. C, then we had linguistics, but linguistics was not on Sunday. E did not present linguistics or metaphysics. Metaphysics took place after philosophy, and we had seen only one scholar after metaphysics. So metaphysics has to be on Saturday, so that there's only one scholar after that. And metaphysics immediately after philosophy. So philosophy on Friday. Okay, done with these. And 9 we have neither A nor C presented on philosophy or metaphysics. Okay, we have that here only in the table. So we can just put that here. Not A, not C, not A, not C. Okay, there's a lot of missing things. Doesn't seem to be very easy, but let me give it a few minutes. So what do we have a lot of information for? What can we connect? If I see the conditions, I can see C is there in 2 conditions. Okay, so C. Okay, but if I see the table, I already have 3 subjects in the table. So let me focus on the subjects. I don't have any people in the table. Subjects, what do I have information for? Okay, I can see not Sunday and not Sunday. So if I focus on Sunday, Sunday I cannot have, of course, eco philosophy metaphysics already. Okay, then I cannot have maths, I cannot have linguistics. So if I remove all of those, what are left? Uh, Ayurveda, astronomy are left. Eco, philosophy, metaphysics, maths, linguistics, they cannot be on Sunday. Okay? Ayurveda or astronomy? Now, which of these? Any condition? I have this one. Ayurveda is for D, which is after F. Okay, but I don't know whether even if I try Ayurveda D after F, yeah, F will be before D. Not a problem. Astronomy, I don't have any condition. Okay, so nothing more I can do here. Now, what else do I have? Have I missed out on any condition? No. Okay. I have the conditions. Now you just have to make deduction. Now for the subjects, if I check subjects, see, I don't know, maths G could be on any of the 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Should I start making cases? Okay, before that, let me see if I can find something of the people because subjects, I can't find anything else. People, let's focus on C. Oh, actually, for this, I can see something that metaphysics, we cannot have A and C. And here I can see E also, I cannot have metaphysics. Okay, so if I focus on metaphysics, I have A to G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Metaphysics, I cannot have A and C. And here I cannot have E also. Fine. B, D, F, G. D is Ayurveda, I cannot have D. G is maths, I cannot have G. So it's either B or F. Metaphysics is B or F. Now, if I put B, I have information about B. F I can put. F after that F we'll have D Ayurveda, that is possible. If I put B after B, I need two people, C and E, but only one place. Okay, this B will not work. So if B doesn't work, I have to get uh, F here. Okay, this has to be F. And after F, Ayurveda D. So this has to be D, this has to be Ayurveda. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm done with F Ayurveda D. This metaphysics part I'm done with. I found it is F. Okay. Philosophy, can I do similarly? Philosophy, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. F and D we've already taken care of. E and C cannot be there in philosophy. G is in maths. So B or E. Now if I put B, after B I need to have C and E. So B is not possible, so it has to be E. Okay, good. So we found some people also. In fact, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are done. What else? Okay, now I think I have to look at C because C is the only thing for which I have two conditions, something connected. So before C, we need B, and after C, we need E. Now, after C, we'll definitely get E because we've already found E. It will have to be after C. Okay. So before C, we need B, and after C, we need linguistics. So where can I have C? Can have C here. So that before C, I have B. You can have C here also. Before C, I have B. After C, linguistics. But here, this will not work. No linguistics after. Here, of course, not work because we can't have B before this. So I'm getting either here or here. Two cases. Okay, let me duplicate the table. That is why it kept some space in case this happened. So we got eco, philosophy, metaphysics, Ayurveda, D, E, F. Now either we can have C here or we can have C here. Let's try. If we have C here, B will be here. Linguistics could be on Wednesday or Thursday, we don't know. Now if we have C here, linguistics will be here after C. Now B could be on Monday or Tuesday, we don't know. What else is left? E cannot be linguistics. Okay, we've already taken care of that. E is anyway philosophy. E is not linguistics. So I'm just left with these points. C I'm looking at. Again, E I'm done with. So I just have B before C, linguistics after C, and maths will be G. Not Sunday again, that's taken care of. So maths will be G. First case could be Wednesday, Thursday. Second case has to be Tuesday. So maths, G. and B before C. So now B has to be here, and only person remaining is A, and only subject remaining astronomy. Okay, this case is done. In the other case, maths G could be on Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, seems like both will be valid, so maybe I'll have to duplicate it. Hmm. So if I duplicate first case eco B, C, uh, philosophy E, meta F, Ayurveda D. So either we have maths G on Wednesday or we have maths G on Thursday. Now linguistics after C. So here linguistics here and here linguistics here. Only person remaining A and astronomy. Yeah, so I think we've explored all the cases. We used all the conditions. Okay, so let's now come to the questions. For how many presenters can we uniquely determine subject of their presentation as well as the day of their presentation? Uh, Subject and day. Okay, let's look at the days. Monday, all the cases we have eco and B. So for Monday, for B we can determine. Tuesday, we can have C or G. Different presenter, different subject. No, we don't know for C or G. Wednesday also, CGA we don't know. Thursday, AAG we don't know. Friday has to be E philosophy. Saturday has to be F meta. And Sunday DIR beta. Okay, so we can only find for 4 days, which means only for 4 people. B, E, F, D. C, G, A are interchanging in different cases. Okay, so I'm getting 4. Next one, which of the following presentations is or are definitely scheduled before linguistics? Now, in the first case, before linguistics, we have eco astro maths. Definitely scheduled. Okay, so all cases. So eco astro maths. Next one also eco astro maths. Next one just eco astro. So eco astro are before linguistics in all cases. Maths not guaranteed. So eco and astro. Okay. How many presentations were between Anaya and Charlie? Uh, in the first case, one presentation, G. Second case, 0. Third case, 0. So 1 or 0. Yeah, third option. Whose presentation was between E and D? E and D has to be F. Okay, only F. How many of the following combinations are definitely correct? Okay, A, Wednesday, Maths, Gaurav. Maths Gaurav could be there, but Astro C or Linguistics C also could be there. So we can't say that for Wednesday. Okay. Friday Philosophy E, yes, definitely. C, Tuesday Astronomy C. Tuesday Astronomy C possible, but Maths G is also possible. Okay, we can't say. So only combination B is definitely correct. So that is just one combination. Okay, done. It's not very easy, but still manageable. And hopefully we have time to solve one more question here. This one. Students scored 17 marks in DILR and DILR has 22 questions and we have +3 -1 scoring scheme. Again, I'm trying this because this doesn't have those conditions about the sectional cutoff. Okay. 17 marks. So what's the first way in which he can get 17 marks? He has to get at least 6 correct. 6 into 3, 18, and then 1 incorrect. That will give us 17. So that's total 617 questions attempted. And now if we want the same score in a different way. Okay, so if we get, this was the minimum number of questions correct to get the score. Now next will be 7 correct. With 1 correct, score is increasing by 3. So to get the same score, decrease of 3. So 3 more incorrect. So now 4 incorrect. Okay. So we are getting 7, 4, 21 -4, 17. Yes, 11 questions. Okay, so we can see that if we had one more correct for a +3, Then we needed 3 more incorrect for -3. So +3 -3 cancel off, we get the same score. So 1 more correct, 3 more incorrect. We need to keep attempting 4 more questions. Very similar to something we've done in classes. Module 2, I remember. So now if we keep increasing by 4, 11 plus 4, 15, 15 plus 4, 19, 19 plus 4, 23. But we just have 22 questions. Okay, 7, 11, 15, 90. Yeah, that is plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Yeah, seems to be fine. So I'm getting how many different combinations? 4 combinations. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'll just take a sip of water. I don't think I can do anything else now because here I have to look at conditions for clearing the sections. How many students are clearing and then marks required to clear, that will definitely take time. So I think I'm pretty happy with this DILR attempt. Yeah, I don't think I can do any more right now. Is there any theta question I can just guess? Yeah. Total score of the students cleared exactly 2 sections is maximized. Maximum possible total score of students who cleared 1 section. I have no idea. If I'm guessing, cleared exactly 1 section. Okay, I don't know. There's no time. Let me just put something random. Any other theta question? Chirag's coin balance, let's say 20. Let's just guess something. Deepa's coin balance total was 100. Let's say 30. Okay. 11 genuine attempts. 3 are theta guesses. Hopefully all the 11 attempts are correct. Now let's come to quant. Okay, quant first question. Two distinct regular hexagons do not completely coincide but overlap in the common region. If BD is 2, attempt to determine the total area covered by the two, excluding. No, no, definitely seems complicated, time consuming. I'll have to make the diagram, see how they are overlapping, time consuming. I don't want to start with this. A is the smallest positive integer such that 1000 plus A is the sum of the first B positive even numbers. Find value of B minus A. Sum of the first B positive even numbers. Sum of the first something even numbers. Smallest positive integer. Okay, I think this is manageable, but might take me a little bit of time. I'll come back to this. Next one. Okay, why manageable? Just to explain my thought process, because first few even numbers, there's a direct formula, and then we just have to see the smallest one, which is more than 1000. In fact, talking about it, I think it seems to be pretty easy. Let me just try it out in 2 minutes. If I can't solve, I'll move on. I'm getting a good plan for this, so I'll try. First few even numbers formula is n into n plus 1. And you have to look for the smallest one, which is more than 1000. Okay, so if you just try 30 into 31 is 930, not more than 1000. 31 into 32. So that is 961 plus 31, 992. Okay, next one should work then. 32 into 33. 32 into 30, that is 960. 32 into 3, 96. So 960 plus 40 will be 1000 and then 56. So this should be 1056. Okay, so there's the first value, which is more than 1000. And this will be 1000 plus 8. This is the smallest value that is more than 1000. So smallest value of A will be 56. Yeah, and B minus A. So first B positive. So here first N positive, that was first 32 positive. So B will should be 32. So B is 32, is 56. And the difference 56 minus 32, 24. Okay. Again, I had a plan for it, spent less than 2 minutes, so we are done with this. Let's come to the next one. Company planned an off-site trip for its employees, booked a resort package for a fixed total amount. Cost was to be shared equally by all employees who initially registered. Later, 6 employees cancelled. As a result, the same total amount had to be shared equally among the remaining employees. Total contribution per employee increased by at least 2,500, but not more than 4,000. Total resort package was 1,20,000. How many possible values are there for the number of? Okay, I think I can solve this, but we have to find how many possible values. So I'll keep it for later in case it turns out to be time consuming. Next one, two racing cars A and B compete in a race. B is given a head start of 100 meters. A is 18 during the first minute, 36 during the second minute, 72 during the third minute, and so on. Speed is doubling every minute. Okay, not very convenient. B maintains a uniform speed of 90 throughout the race. A wins by 50. Not very sure about this because we are going minute by minute, but the speed are in kilometer per hour. Then the distance we have been given in meters. It is doubling every minute. Okay, I'll mark it for review. Maybe I can try it out later on, but I'm not very sure. In fact, let's do one thing. I'll clear the response. First, let me look for the easier questions. Later, if we have time, we can come back to it. Next one, entrepreneur takes two loans A and B of the same principal. A is taken at compound interest, 2 years. B at simple interest, same annual rate for 26 months. At the end of the respective loan periods, interest accrued on the two loans is equal. What is the rate of interest? Okay, this seems to be a simple basic question on SICI. So they have the same principal, A, and they have the same interest also. Okay, so we'll equate the interest. CI is equal to SI. So here CI will be what? On loan A, whatever is the principal, 1 plus R by 100 to the power of the time. Time is 2 years. There's the amount minus principal will be compound interest. Simple interest, principal into rate into 26 months will be 26 by 12 years divided by 100. Okay, so P will cancel off. When we cancel off P, we'll get 1 plus R by 100 whole square minus 1 is R. If we cancel off by 2, 13 by 100 into 6. Okay, now of course I can solve this. That might take time. Can I plug in the options? No, even that might take some time to check. Okay, so I think I'll have to solve it technically. Yeah, but yeah, this will make it easier. If I let R by 100 be equal to X, because I can see R by 100 in both places. So 1 plus X whole square minus 1 is X into 13 by 6. Yeah, this should be more convenient. So 1 plus X square plus 2X minus 1 is 13X by 6. So let's multiply with 6. 6X square plus 12X is 13X. Okay, this becomes convenient definitely. 6X square minus X is 0. So X into 6X minus 1. X will not be 0 here. Rate will not be 0. So X will be 1 by 6. So R by 100 will be 1 by 6. Yeah, 1 by 6 is 16.67. Second option. Okay, fine. Wasn't very difficult, but that substitution method definitely helped. Anyway, let's see the next one. Fx be a linear function or defined on real numbers such that f of x is 9x plus 8. F1 is greater than 0. Value of f5 is what? Okay, seems to be easy. Let me just try it out for 2 minutes. I have a plan. Linear function I know is ax plus b format. So I can write fx as ax plus b. Linear equation, linear expression, x term and a constant term. You can even write it as mx plus c. And then we have a simple composite function, f of x. Okay, so if you look at f of x, that means instead of x as the input, we are putting fx as the input. So wherever we see x, which is here, Okay, instead of x, we will put fx. Now, what is fx? Fx is ax plus b. So we'll put ax plus b. Okay, so what are we getting? We are getting a square x plus ab plus b. Yeah. And this is f of x, which is 9x plus 8. Okay, so if we compare, this 9x term has to be equal to this a square x term. Well, these are the only terms with x. So if a square x is 9x, a square is 9, so a will be plus minus 3. And then this ab plus b is 8. If I try a as 3, so I'll get 3b plus b equal to 8. So 4b is 8, so b will be 2. So if I put a as 3, b is coming out as 2. If I put a as minus 3, I'll get minus 3b plus b. So minus 2b is 8. So b will be minus 4. Okay, so these are the two possibilities, and f1 is greater than 0. Okay, if I look at f1, that will be a into 1 plus b, a plus b. But with this one, it will become negative. With this one, it will be positive. Okay, so it has to be 3 comma 2. And f5. f5 will be 5a plus b. 5 into 3, 15 plus 2, 70. Yes, second option. Okay, the same, see again, because I could come up with a plan. I could see that it's just a linear equation, linear function for which I know the format, and it's a simple composite function. That's why I tried it out. This one seems to be easy. At a music festival, 75% were students. Among the students, 80% owned a premium pass. Of the students who owned a premium pass, 2/3 were boys, minimum possible number of girls. Okay, just percentages. So let's start by assuming the minimum integer value, because all these have to be integers. 75% of attendees, 75% is 3/4. So let's take total number of attendees to be 4. That's the minimum we can take, so that 3/4 of it is still an integer. Yeah. So if I take 4, out of these 4, the students, okay, these are the attendees. Let me just write. And out of these, students will be 3/4. Okay, so 3. Among the students, 80%. Now, 80% is 4/5. So I will need this to be a multiple of 5. So I can multiply both with 5. 4 into 5, 20. 3 into 5, 15. Yeah, so this is the minimum. That's a multiple of 5. And now 4/5 of this will own a premium pass. 4/5 of 15 will be 12. So 12 minimum have a premium pass. And out of these who own a premium, 2/3 were boys. 2/3 of 12 is an integer. So 2/3 of 12 is 8. And what is the minimum possible? Girl students who own premium. Okay, out of premium 12, 8 are boys. 12 minus 8, 4 should be girls. Yeah, I have taken the minimum values, should be right. Seemed like an easy one. Let's see the next one. Contractor has been awarded a contract to pave a 180-meter long road in 36 days. He initially employs 30 workers, each working 8 hours per day. 10 days it found only 45 meters of the road has been paved. To accelerate the work, contractor increases the workforce by 50%, extends the daily working time to 10 hours, maintains the same rate of productivity. Road will be completed how many days before schedule? Seems easy. Okay, I'll attempt it. Just give me 1 minute. One more sneeze is coming. Okay, sorry. So if we try to solve this question, the contract is for 180 meter, 36 days. Initially 30 workers working 8 hours a day, 10 days. Okay, so how much work is done in these 10 days? Number of workers, number of hours per day into number of days. Let me put some space. Have to form an equation. So 30 into 8 into 10. And in this much time, 45 meters of the road has been paved. So this is the work for 45 meters out of 180 meters. And then we are looking at the remaining work. So 180 minus 45, remaining work will be 135. 135 is 3 times of 45. Okay, so this is for 45 meter. If I multiply it with 3, I will get 3 times the work, which is 135 meter, which is the remaining work. Okay, this is the remaining work, which should be equal to how the remaining work is completed. Increase workforce by 50%. So 30 workers, if you increase by 50%, number of workers will be 45. Daily working time 10 hours per day. And then this should be number of days. Yeah. So this will give us number of days for the remaining work. If we calculate 10, 10 will cancel off. 15 into 3 is 45. 15 into 2 is 30. And 3 cancels off. So this will be 16 days. 16 days, and before this we had 10 days. So 16 plus 10, we have total 26 days. And it was supposed to be done in 36 days. So 10 days before. Yeah. Okay, fairly simple question. Can be slightly time consuming, but not very difficult at all. If we come to the next one, points A, B, C, D form a quadrilateral, find the area of the quadrilateral. So coordinate geometry, I don't know the direct formula for this. I remember a student was asking me about this, but I don't know the direct formula, but I think we can still solve it. Okay, I'll just try it out for 2 minutes. One sec. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. Okay, so A 1, comma 2, B 7, comma 4, C 6, comma 9, D 0, comma 7. So uh, we don't know directly and we generally don't follow directly. We can split it into triangles. So let me find area of ADC plus area of ABC. And area of a triangle, I know the formula, we've done it in class. So ADC, A is 1, comma 2, D is 0, comma 7, C is 6, comma 9. And ABC will be 1, comma 2, 7, comma 4, 6, comma 9. Okay, if I look at the first triangle, formula is half into modulus x1, which is 1, into y2 minus y3. So into 7 minus 9. 1 into minus 2, and x2, which is 0. 0 into anything will be 0. Okay, 0. And x3, which is 6, into y1 minus y2. 2 minus 7 minus 5. Minus 5 into 6 minus 30. Minus 32. So 32 by 2, this is 16. Similarly, if I look at this, half into mod, x1 is 1, and then 4 minus 9, so minus 5. Then 7 into 9 minus 2. 7 into 7, 49. And 6 into 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4, minus 2. So 6 and minus 2. So minus 12. 49 minus 17, 32. Again 16 here. 16, 16, 32. Yeah, third option. Fairly simple. And again, we've done this kind of thing in class where if we can't look at the quadrilateral directly, we look at two triangles and we know the formula for this. Yeah, this was simple. Next one, top secret research lab issues 6-character ID codes to the scientists. Each code is found using only first 8 English letters, A to H, odd digits 13579. No two letters in the code can be adjacent. Each code must contain at least 3 letters. Digits may be repeated, letters cannot be. Also, letters in the code when left. Okay, this is too complicated, too many conditions to take care of. At least 3 letters, so there are possibilities also. No, I don't want to attempt this. Next one, x and y are natural numbers such that a is equal to log x to the base 10, b is log y to the base 10. Log 7 1 by 5 to the base 10 is this. Find the value. Yeah, I can try this out for 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm able to see that doesn't seem very complicated. We have this equation, log 36 by 5 to the base 10 is 3a, where a is log x to the base 10. See, why I'm attempting this is because all the bases are the same. That makes things a bit convenient. And then if I can't solve it quickly, I will leave it quickly. So 3 into log x to the base 10, 2b. 2 into log y to the base 10, and then minus 1. Okay, so if I simplify, I need log x plus y to the base 5. So I need x plus y. Okay, no point bringing x and y. Okay, what we can do is we can keep the variables on the other side and just deal with the numbers on the other. Then we can compare. So minus 1 will become plus 1 and 1 will be log 10 to the base 10. So log 36 by 5 to the base 10 plus log 10. So 36 by 5 into 10 should be 72. 72 to the base 10. Now we have to convert to this format. Okay. So this is log x cube and this is log y square. 72 is what? 72 in form of cube? Yeah, that's easy. So that is 2 cube into 3 square, 8 into 9. So this will be log 2 cube plus log 3 square. And this will be equal to log x cube, log y square. Okay, so x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3 by comparing. So x plus y will be 5, log 5 to the base y, 1. Okay. Let's see the next one. Next one diagram is there. These two angles are equal. D parallel to BC. Okay, triangles are similar. Then AD BC 2:3. AD and BC are not corresponding sides. Okay, area of ADF. Length of AB 15. Length of AD 6. Find BDF DFE. No, this seems complicated. Skip this. Next one. We have a sequence defined in this way. A1 is 5, sum of the reciprocals of first n terms. Okay, so this obviously I'll have to explore, but yeah, I definitely want to try this out, but maybe later on. Right now there is a risk. What if the pattern, if we get a pattern, what if it's not very easy? So I'll try it out, but maybe later. Uh, Next one, weights of 11 cricketers are all distinct integers. Each player weighs more than 50. Average weight of the team is 72. Captain weighs 75. Weight is greater exactly 4. Maximum possible difference weights. Okay. I am pretty sure I can solve this, but might take a little bit of time. So I'll keep it for later. I've solved similar questions before, so feel comfortable with that. Next one, 4 to the power x plus 1, 2 to the power 2x plus 1, 96, value of x. Okay, I can quickly try this out. 4 to some power x plus 1 plus 2 to some power. So before solving it technically, let's look if there is some simple combination like power of 4. If I try 16, first if I just try, of course 1 will not work. 1 plus 95 will not work. 4 plus 92, no, 92 is not a power of 2. 16 plus 80, no. 64 plus 30, yeah, this is working. So this is what, 4 cube, and this is 2 to the power 5. Now, hopefully same value of x. Here I'm getting x is 2. 2x plus 1 is 5. So here also, yeah, x is 2. So x has to be 2. Okay, that was a very easy one. Thankfully, we got a correct combination without getting into log and all of that. It is 1 minute. Okay, we read this question. Series 1, all of these are APs. So 3, 7, 11, 15, 5, 11, 17, 23, 7, 15, 23, 21. Okay. Common difference of 4, 6, 8. Okay. A is formed containing all the numbers which are common to at least two of the above three progressions. How many terms in the set will be less than 1000? No, definitely seems complicated. Common to at least two of them. No. What if we get duplicate cases we have to remove? We don't want to attempt that. Circle two parallel chords of lengths 10 and 24 are 7 centimeter apart. Ratio of numerical value of area of circle to numerical value of circumference cannot be determined is also there, because parallel chords, what if they are on opposite sides of the center or same side? Maybe I can try this later. Empty tank filled using 3 pipes. Pipe A can fill the tank in 4 hours, B can empty in 6 hours, C can fill in 3 hours. 2nd April, A is open, B is open, C is open, different times. Yeah, this seems like a standard question. We can definitely solve this. A, B, C. Total work, LCM of 463. 463, LCM is 12. If I take total work as 12, A will be 12 by 4, 3. So plus 3 units per hour filling. B is emptying, so minus 12 by 6, 2 units per hour. And C is filling, 12 by 3, 4 units per hour. Okay, last pipe to be opened is at 10:30. So let's see the work done until 10:30. A from 9 a.m. to 10:30, 1.5 hours will be 1.5 into 3 plus 4.5. B from 10 to 10:30, half an hour. Half of -2, so -1. So the work done will be 3.5 until 10:30. And 12 minus 3.5, that is 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 work is remaining, and now pipe C is also open. So combined efficiency, 7 minus 2, 5. So you'll get 8.5 by 5, which is 1.7 hours. Okay, so that is 1 hour plus zero point 0.7 hours, 0.7 into 60 minutes, 42 minutes. So from 10:30, 10:30 1 hour, 11:30, and then 42 minutes, I can split it as 30 minutes plus another 12. So this will be 12 p.m. and another 12, 12, 12. Yeah. Okay, that was obviously an easy question. All the times were given. And then, of course, it was given when the pipes are being opened. So it was a basic question. Next one, retailer marks up the price of a flagship smartphone by X%. During a sale, he offers standard discount of 20%. Customers purchasing via credit card receive a flat reduction of 4,500. Uses premium bank, okay, if customer uses card, the makes profit of 8%. Okay, let me read it properly once. Retailer markup percent is X%. Ultimately, we have to find value of X. Flat discount of 20% is there on the mark price. If people are purchasing via card, they'll get additional 4,500. If they purchase via card, profit is 8%. Without card, it is 23%. Okay, seems to be solvable, but not very simple. Seems like calculation will also be involved. I'll keep it for later if I have time. Next one, sum of all the positive integer values of X for which this is negative. Yeah, this seems basic. First, I'll just have to factorize this, and then basic inequality less than 0. We want this to be less than 0, negative. Now, rather than doing trial and error, uh, let me look at product of the roots. So product of the roots will be 30. And sum of the roots, one at a time, will be 10. So 30, how can I write it as product of 3 values? Let me prime factorize. So 2 into 15, 3 into 5. If these are the 3 roots, then sorry, 2 into 3 into 5. So if these are the 3 roots, the sum of the roots will be 10. Okay, perfect. What about sum of the roots 2 at a time? Uh, should be 31. So 2 at a time, 2 into 3, 6, 2 into 5, 10, 3 into 5, 15. 21, 30, yeah, 31. So the root should be 2, 3, 5. So it should be x minus 2, x minus 3, x minus 5. Yeah, seems to be fine. And we now use the number line method, 2, 3, 5, positive, negative, positive, negative. We need negative, so here and here. Less than 2 and between 3 and 5. Now question is asking sum of all positive integer values of x. So less than 2, the only positive value, integer value is 1. Between 3 and 5, the only positive integer value is 4. And the sum of these. So 1 plus 4 should be 5. Yeah. Seems to be fine. Next one, sum of the digits of a four-digit number is 18. Digits of the number in increasing arithmetic progression, thousands to units place in that order. Original number is subtracted by number obtained by reversing. Result 3087. Okay. Think I can solve it, but might become a bit technical. At AP part is helpful. Okay, maybe I can try it later. Let's see this. How many pairs of positive integers satisfy this? Okay, this is the standard type of question. Let's simplify this. So if I have x minus 10, let's represent the numerator in terms of x minus 10. So if I have 3x, I can write this 3 into x minus 10 maximum. Okay, so that 3x gets taken care of. Now to adjust 3 into minus 10 minus 30. So to balance of this minus 30, I will need a plus 30. And of course, I need this 224. Minus 30 plus 30 cancels off. I still have 3x. I still have 224. Yeah, so this is fine. Now if I separate 3x minus 10 by x minus 10, I'll get 3. And here this will be 254 by x minus 10. So basically, we just need this to be an integer. So we need x minus 10 to be a factor of 254. Okay, so if we factorize 254 to see how many factors, 2 into 127. 127, it's not divisible by 3, not by 5, 7 if we check. No, not by 7, not by 11, not by 13. Yeah, I don't think we have to check more. For this maximum, we should be checking till 11. We are not getting that, so I think this is it. So we have 2 into 2, we have 4 factors. Okay, so basically the 4 factors are 1 into 254 and 2 into 127. These are the 4 factors. Okay, so x minus 10 could be any of these values. So it could be 4 values. Now all of these will give us positive because if x minus 10 is, let's say, 1, then x will be 10 plus 1, positive. Y will also be positive for all of these. Yeah. So all these 4 values seem to work. What about negative? Minus 1, minus 254, minus 2, minus 127. If x minus 10 is equal to any of these, x will be 10 plus something. Now 10 plus this or this will still be negative. So not these, but minus 1 or minus 2, this would still be positive. So can this be possible? X is becoming positive with these. What about y? Okay, y if, okay, rather than checking here, maybe the original one, x minus 10, if it is minus 1, denominator will be negative, but x is positive, so numerator positive. So overall will become negative. No, this doesn't work. If I put minus 2, x will still be positive 8, but x minus 10 will become negative. Denominator negative, numerator, no, this will not. Okay, so just the 4 values. Okay, that is round 1. Now we still have around 10 minutes. Let's come to round 2. We have a good number of attempts, 11. Okay, there did seem to be a decent number of easy to moderate questions. Let's see question 3. So offsite trip, there's a resort package, fixed total amount. Cost was to be shared equally. 6 employees cancelled. Same total amount had to be shared equally among the remaining employees. Contribution per employee increased by at least 2,500, not more than 4,000. Total cost was 1 lakh. Okay, so the total cost of 1,20,000, if we divide it by the number of employees, we will get the per employee cost. And this is increasing. And we have increased by. So we are looking at the increase. Okay, so in the new situation, we'll have the increase one because if we have 6 employees less. So let's say original number of employees is n. So new will be n minus 6. And in the original situation, 1,20,000 by n. Yeah, of course, with fewer employees, we will have more cost per employee. So this will be the larger value. Larger minus smaller will give us the increase. And this increase has to be at least 2,500. Okay, so greater than equal to 2,500 and not more than 4. So maximum 4,000, less than equal to 4,000. Uh, how many passive possible values for the number? Okay, possible values of n for this seems to be simple. Uh, to simplify, let me divide everything by 1,20,000. So 2,500 by 1,20,000 can cancel off two zeros. 25 by 1,200. 2,500 if I cancel off, I'll get 1 by 12 into 4, 1 by 48. And here I have 1 by n minus 6, 1 by n. 4,000 by 1,20,000, 4 by 120, 1 by 30. Okay, now if I simplify this, I'm getting n into n minus 6, n minus of n minus 6. So 1 by 48, 6, n into n minus 6, 1 by 30. Okay, so to simplify, let me just multiply with all the denominators. 48, n minus 6, 30. Inequality. So if I multiply with n minus 6, okay, they have to be positive. N is the number of employees. N minus 6 is also remaining number of employees. They have to be positive. So inequality will not change. So I multiply with everything. Here I'm getting 30 into n minus 6. Here 6 into 48 into 30. And here 48 into n minus 6. If I cancel off with 6, I'm getting 5n into n minus 6, 48 into 30, and 8n into n minus 6. Okay, so if I look at this one, 5n n minus 6 less than equal to 48 into 30. So n into n minus 6 less than equal to 48 into 6. 48 into 6 is 240 and 48, 288. Let me just try out values of n. If I put 20, 20 into 14, 280 is less than that. If I try 21 into 15, 315 is more. No. Okay, so this only seems to be fine. So maximum n we are getting, that n has to be less than equal to 20. Maximum it can be is 20. Okay, let's check the other one. So 48 into 30 less than equal to 8 n minus 6. So we can say n into n minus 6 greater than equal to, cancel with 8. So 6 into 30, 180. Let's say with 10, 10 into 4, no, that's too small. 20 only, 20 into, no, that's too big. 15 into 9. Oh, sorry, we're looking at greater than equal to 180. Okay, so if you try, maybe not 20, let's say 16 into 10, 118, 116, no. 17 into 11, 187. Yeah, that's the first value. So we can say n greater than equal to 17. 17 to 20, 17, 18, 19, 20, getting 4 values. Okay, let's check if we can get a pattern quickly here. So A1 is 5, which means the reciprocal, because we have to find sum of reciprocals, will be 1 by 5. Yeah. Next one, A2. A1 by 1 plus 3 into A1. So A1 is 5 by 1 plus 3 into 5, 15. 5 by 16. So the reciprocal 16 by 5. Yeah. A3 will be A2. A2 is what? A2 is this 5 by 16 by 1 plus 3 into A2. 1 plus 3 times of, so 15 by 16. 16 will cancel off. We'll get 5 by 31. So reciprocal 31 by 5. Okay, sum of the reciprocals of first 10 terms. So if I check these reciprocals, 1 by 5 plus 16 by 5 plus 31 by 5. If I try to take 1 by 5 common, 1 plus 16 plus 31, 15, 15. Okay, seems to be AP, so seems to be easy. So first 10 terms. So formula is n by 2, so 10 by 2, 2a, so 2 into 1 plus n minus 1, 10 minus 1, 9, and d is 15. Okay, so if you calculate 10, 10 cancels off. So I just get 2 plus 135, 137. Yeah, this one I'm comfortable with. Maybe this will have to be the last question. Let's see. 11 cricketers. Each player more than 50. Okay, I'll keep it in mind. Average is 72, captain 75, weight is greater than that of exactly 4. So let's say left to right we have increasing. So these are 4 lowest. So captain 75 will be here, weight greater than exactly 4. Maximum possible difference between weights of two cricketers. Okay, so we need one of them to be as big as possible, one of them to be as small as possible. So the smallest that we can have here, more than 50, is 51. This is minimum 51, and to make this as large as possible, we have to minimize the others. So if I make it 52, 53, 54, and then after all 11 cricketers listing, so 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Okay, now what is the total? Average weight of the team is 72. So 72 into 11. 720 and 792. From there, I have to subtract these. 50 into 4, 200, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 210. Here for these six, I have AP. Average will be average of, okay, 77.5 into 6. So into 2 into 3, let's say. This into 2, 154, 155 into 3, 465. 465 and 210, that is 675. So if I subtract 117, 117 minus 51, that is 66. Okay, let me just check the calculation while I still have some time. 675, yeah, 117 minus 51. 66, yeah, seems to be right. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have time to try out these questions, which I'd mark for review. This doesn't seem to be easy. Yeah, so normally if I was solving on my own, maybe I might have been able to attempt one or two more questions out of these. Okay. Okay, score seems to be fine. Quant all are correct, which is expected. DILR 3, okay, 11 correct, 3 incorrect, which were the theta questions. Okay, that's fine. VRC 1 incorrect. Yeah, that's fine. So overall, not a bad attempt, I would say. I'm okay, not too happy. I could have obviously done better in VRC, even in quant. DILR, I'm not sure. That's it. I'll have to look at. But overall, at least see, you can see even under the pressure of live solving, as long as you stick to the easier questions, then you have a good chance of doing well. Whatever I found difficult, I skipped. So if I just go through what I did, and then we can have some discussion. I'll come to your questions. Let me see what I got incorrect. Geological disruptions function as evolutionary opportunities depends on which assumptions. So I said this natural selection can still work. Okay, because there's something given in the passage. Correct answer is sometimes bring enough energy underground to allow. Okay, I found this to be a bit simplistic. Okay, maybe I'll have to check the option. Okay, this was an A type question which I got incorrect. So this was an easy question. I got incorrect. I'll have to analyze the solution and see why my option is incorrect. Why part B? Uh, the proposed resolution is not that evolution works without reproduction, but that reproduction may occur during rare energy surges. Assumption cannot be. Natural selection presumes reproduction, yet they may pass tens of thousands of years without dividing. Proposed resolution is not that evolution works without reproduction, but that. Okay, so it was more about the energy, not really about the reproduction part. Okay, I think I had started off with the focus on energy, but maybe I got a bit confused. Okay, others seem to be fine. But see, now when I'm analyzing, what I like to do is the questions I got incorrect or the questions I skipped, I check the difficulty level. Like this one, I skipped type A question. Okay, but I couldn't understand this sentence. Let me try to use the analyze with AI to see if I can understand. Yeah, here. Life maintains systems away from balance to release energy. Okay, that is a simple explanation. Ah, okay, okay. Now it makes sense. Now, if I check what would be the correct option. Okay, first one doesn't seem to be that because we are looking at systems out of balance to release energy. Not the second one also. Replaced entirely by physical laws. Okay, seems a bit extreme. Yeah, fourth one seems to be fine after eliminating the others. And second one are not talking about the processes uh, that release energy. Systems out of balance. This replaced entirely seems to be too extreme. And here at least, okay, this one also I'm not very sure because that systems out of balance part is not there in any of them. Okay, so if it's not there in any of them, then maybe we can just focus on the dissipation of energy part. Life can be understood uh, with respect to dissipating energy. So life understood, life should be defined. Yeah, okay. Fourth one seems to be relevant. Okay. Okay, so this way I look at the questions which I skipped and I see which ones were easy primarily, and then I can look at moderate ones. So this one seems to be a moderate one. So it's okay if I skipped it. Next one also VA, all the VA questions I had to skip, but this is also moderate. Okay, what about the ones I attempted? This was easy. Okay, so just to give you an idea, this is how I look at the analysis. First, I look at the easy questions, and whichever easy questions I skipped or got incorrect, those are the questions that I first focus on. First, I think, why did I get it incorrect? I compare my option with the solutions option, compare my logic with the logic. Okay, then my first focus is on the easy questions because I want to make sure that first I'm getting the easy marks. Then I can look at the tougher marks. Okay, so this is how I'll analyze VRC later in detail. I just want to give you an idea. DILR, let me first see whether I selected the easier sets. Okay, let me first see whether the last set was the difficult one. Yeah, sea level, so that's difficult. Were all the questions difficult? Okay, yeah. As expected, this was the difficult one. All the conditions were very deductive, so did not seem easy at all. This one, if I check, B type question. Of course, I took time in live solving, but that's okay. Yeah, this was B, and this one, I felt this was a B type question. A. Okay, so I think this is the kind of set a lot of students would have attempted first, and more people would have attempted this set. So that's why it's being shown as A. Yeah, in my opinion, I found this to definitely be a moderate question, type B question, because we got those multiple cases. What about this one? This is B, so maybe could have been solved. This should be A. Yeah, this was definitely easy. This one is also B. This one is C. C. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with my question selection. The two sets which seem to be the manageable ones, those are the ones I tackled first. Then here there was one easy question which I attempted. Other questions do seem to be a bit complicated. Quant, if I check. See, quant, which ones had I marked for review? This though I wanted to skip. This I had marked for review. Was this easy? Moderate. Okay. Still feel I could have solved it, but of course I would have had to explore the cases maybe. 19 is also B. 21 also B. Okay. So I don't think I skipped any easy question. 16 was, this cannot be easy. Yeah, this was difficult. Okay, nothing easy here. What about 12 or 10? No, difficult, difficult. 4, moderate, difficult. Okay. So I'm very happy that I did not miss out on any easy question. Yeah, that is the whole point. See, I speak to a lot of students, and every time I see people are saying that I don't get time at the end. I'm not even able to see the last one or two questions. Okay, so that is where you should be very focused on following this strategy. Be very selective. Look for the easier questions first. Okay, look for easy questions and be more selective. Like if you feel like you are already being selective, but you're still facing the problem, be even more selective and go for the questions for which you have a clear plan. Like I was only trying out those questions at the beginning where I had a plan and I was pretty confident. And still I was keeping a maximum time limit of 2 minutes. So that when I was done with the last question, I still had around 10 minutes remaining. Okay, so that is the strategy you should follow. So I hope all of you like have been able to derive some value from this session. I hope for hopefully at least one section you gained some insight, something that you should be doing differently in your own attempt. Now, again, just to repeat something I've said before at the beginning, uh, we will be doing more sessions like this depending upon how much you guys ask for it. Okay, because otherwise, if we are just doing it, but there is not enough demand for it, then what is the point? So I am looking to see how many of you are actually asking for this. So the ways in which you can show that you actually want more sessions like this is by liking this video, by subscribing to the channel, and by posting a comment mentioning what kind of a session you want. Okay, after the we are done with the live streaming. Okay, so if you've not done any of these, please do this. When we look at this data, how many people are responding, how many people are liking or subscribing or asking for more sessions, that is when it gets confirmed for us that okay, the demand is actually there. People will actually come and watch. Otherwise, why will we put in that effort to do these things if not enough people are watching? Okay, so it's up to you guys. If you want more sessions, feel free to show your support, comment, let us know what sessions you want, and we will be happy to come up with these sessions. Okay, now I'll be looking at the chat box a little bit. So anyone who has a question, feel free to post a question in the chat box. First of all, did you derive some value from the session? Do you feel like you understood something that you will be using to change your method, your approach from the next SimCAT? Sumedh, you've mentioned analysis session. So see, like this at the end, the way we analyzed. Similarly, if we have another live solving session, we will analyze again. We'll solve again. Sumit, question selection strategy in VRC and quant. See, quant, it's very simple. Quant, if I have a plan, if I know, see, I'll give you an example. This one, I had no plan. How they are overlapping, I couldn't visualize instantly. So I knew I would have to make the diagram explode. That would take time. But second question, I had a plan because sum of first positive even numbers, I know the formula n into n plus 1. And then I thought, okay, that this 1000 plus a is equal to this, where I have to make a smallest. So I have to make that n into n plus 1, that formula value, the smallest possible such that it is more than 1000 because it will be in the form of 1000 plus a. So because I could come up with a plan and I knew the formula, I knew what process I will be following. That is why I started attempting this. And still I kept the time limit of 2 minutes. If I can't really solve it in 2 minutes, then I will come back to it later or I will skip it. See, here also I had some idea that, okay, looking at the information, it seemed to be manageable. That we are looking at contribution per employee. We know the total cost. So the total cost divided by number of employees will be the contribution per employee. That's something basic. So that part I could think. Why I kept this for later was that how many possible values. Okay, so I thought maybe there are multiple cases, so it's better to do it later, not at the beginning. This one, why I did not attempt was because obviously first minute, second minute, and so on, minute by minute, it's becoming double the speed. And whereas other values given are not in terms of kilometer per hour, we have distance in meters. Okay, we have time in minutes. So that seemed to be very time consuming to explore at least. I might have still tried it out later if I had the time. This one I could see principal is the same, interest is the same. So of course we have to equate the interest. Principal will cancel off and then we would just have to solve. So again, because I could come up with a plan for it, I knew what to do. That is why I gave myself some time for it. Okay, so this is the kind of process you follow. As you keep practicing more, then you will be in a better position to attempt more questions. But every time be very selective. Only the ones for which you can come up with a plan. You know what method, what formula, what concept to use. You know what will be the first step, the starting part of the solution. First, target only those questions. Other questions you can try out later on. Okay, and VRC, see, normally if I'm not solving live VRC, I can attempt everything. So last year, for example, I attempted all the questions. I think I got maybe 4 or 5 questions wrong. Last year, I got 53 marks in VRC. But otherwise, normally I attempt maybe 21, 22 questions in VRC in the CAT. Normally, my score is somewhere in the early 50s. So I don't really have a selection strategy in VRC that I follow because my reading speed is usually fast. So I can attempt everything. But today, what I did, because I knew my reading speed would be slow, I focused on those RCs which I found easier to read and understand. There was one RC on alienation, something about Marxism also that I am not comfortable with. So I thought, okay, this is something that I would not want to attempt if my speed is not very good. Let me focus on the RCs that I can actually understand properly. Then I will be in a good position to attempt the questions. And VA, I follow a similar thing where if I'm reading any VA question that I can't even understand properly, then why will I spend time on it? If I can't understand, how will I answer a question on it? So I first of all look for the VA questions which are easy to read and understand. And then I try it out. And then if I can't decide on an option, then I skip the question. I don't think that if I've already spent 2 minutes, I still have to answer. Okay, for example, I think I skipped one RC question today. Yeah, so this one, I did not really understand this sentence. So I did not want to take a risk. Okay, so that is if I find it easy to read and understand, then I have a good chance of solving the question. And even then, if I can't figure out the question or the options, then I skip the question and I look for something else which is easy to understand. So that is my strategy. Other questions, if I see, what is my percentile in the mock? Let me see if the percentile is coming up. Percentile is 98.51, VRC is 82, DILR 97, Quant 98. Predicted percentile, I would say, is more relevant. Yeah, predicted percentile is 99.59. Again, I'm pretty sure all the sectional cutoffs would have been clicked. Okay, strategy for DILR. See, DILR, I hope all of you saw how I attempted. I'll just take you back. See, DILR, what I did was first I read all the sets. And I think it took me some time, of course, because I was reading out loud. But still, I read all the sets because until you look at all the sets, you will not know which could be the easiest one. Even then, there is no guarantee, but at least you'll be giving yourself a better chance. So I looked at all the set. This set, I saw that while I'm comfortable with the scoring system, I'm not comfortable with clearing the section, that kind of condition, or how many students are clearing different sections. And these kinds of questions are about maximum, okay, something about maximizing. Then maybe here maximum value of the students who cleared two sections. So maybe I could have solved this. I don't know. I'll have to try it out later on today. But my point was there was a risk here. Every set, in fact, there is a risk, but there was a bigger risk here because what if I can't figure this out? If I can't figure this out at the beginning and I waste a lot of time on it, then my confidence will go down and the time pressure will start affecting me. So because I was not very sure about this, I kept it for later on. Okay, primarily because of these kinds of conditions. I am not really very experienced with this kind of condition. So of course, the scoring system I'm very experienced with, but how many students are clearing a section, that was something that I don't remember coming across before in other questions. Okay, at least something which is similar to this. So because of that uncertainty, I kept it aside. Now, second set, I'm sure many people would have attempted this as their first set, which is still fine. I also knew I wanted to attempt because at least I knew it would be matrix arrangement. But when I saw the conditions, I saw that there are conditions which are pretty deductive, like C is after B, but C is before E. And there are 7 days. So in 7 days, what will be the which will be the 3 days for these three people that we don't know? Or even, for example, linguistic session is happening after C's presentation. Okay, we don't know C's day, so we don't know the linguistics day. So again, there were many deductive points here. That is why also I knew that while I feel like I can solve this set, maybe it will take me some time. And looking at the questions told me that we might get multiple cases, or maybe we will not be able to find everything. So keeping that in mind, I thought, okay, maybe this will be a good second set. But I definitely wanted to try it. Okay, because at least I had that plan in mind, what kind of a table to make. And if you've been teaching for a while or practicing for a while, you would definitely have solved sets like this. So for most people, this would have been somewhat familiar. Now, third set, why I started off with. Okay, because third set, there were very useful conditions, very helpful conditions. Like this one I highlighted, integer multiples of 5. If every value is a multiple of 5, then of course the possibilities are very limited. Okay, so that is easier to deal with. It cannot be a value like 16, 17 or something. And many conditions here were pretty direct. Okay, like RR bought exactly 3 defenders, exactly 50% of total 80 lakhs. Okay, or here it's been given some player was bought for exactly 25 lakhs, which category also that player belongs to. Or for example, Panipat exhausted their entire 80 lakhs budget, or they bought maximum number of all-rounders. So these conditions were definitely much easier to deal with. More direct conditions and fewer possibilities for these conditions. So that is why I started off with this set. Okay, but the last set, the problem was that all these conditions were heavily deductive. Not even one condition was direct. And we don't even know the individual number of coins with any of the people on any day. So it would definitely take a lot of time to deal with these deductive conditions. Okay, so these are my reasons for dealing with these sets, for selecting or rejecting a set. But see, I always know that it's never guaranteed. I have been solving DILR for years. Okay, I've got 99.9 plus in DILR in the CAT also. But that doesn't mean that I will let my ego go to my head. Okay, I will not think that I've got 99.9 plus before. So if I think a set is easy, I should be able to solve it. Because what if it is not easy? Or what if I'm making a silly mistake or missing out on one point? I think here I was making some silly mistake. If I let my ego come in the way, and if I get stuck on one set for too long, then I will be messing up the entire section. Okay, maybe if I don't move on, then how will I make sure that I'm solving at least one set? If I spend all my time on one set in which I'm making some mistake or maybe it's complicated. So I kept it in mind that this set, which I'm trying out, it seems to be manageable. But if I had gotten badly stuck, or if too much time had passed without making significant progress, I would have happily left this set aside and I would have come back to the second set to try it out. Okay, so always be risk averse. Remember that no set is special. It's not like this set will give you extra marks. Other questions also give you the same marks. But you have to be very, very careful that you are not remaining stuck on one set for too long. You can come back to it later. Okay, just make sure that you are being risk averse. And if you're not progressing significantly in 10 minutes, then you're trying out some other set. Thankfully, I was able to solve this set, so I did not have to leave it. But if I had gotten stuck, I would have left it and come back to the second set. Okay, so that's my DILR strategy. Aryansh, what is the difficulty level of this mock compared to actual exam? See, CAT difficulty level is not fixed. Sometimes CAT is easy, sometimes moderate, sometimes difficult. But I would say that this paper seemed to be easy to moderate level. I did not find this to be difficult. VRC, of course, I did not have time for VA questions, but RC, my accuracy was pretty good, 9 out of 10, I think, or 10 out of 11. And DILR, I would say the two sets I solved were definitely solvable. Even if you just focused on those two sets, they were definitely solvable. Of course, if someone wasted time on the last set, then you really have to think why you selected that last set. It was easy to see that the conditions are very deductive. It should have been skipped. Okay, so I would say VRC and DILR getting 30 marks, at least in both of them, was definitely manageable. And Quant, I got what? I got 42 marks, I think. Yeah, so again, I would say, of course, if you have a lot of experience, lot of practice, you might have been able to get 50 marks also. Otherwise, 40 marks was manageable. For people who are not very comfortable with Quant, let me show you which questions you could have definitely attempted. Even then, I would say 20, 30 marks were definitely manageable in. See, not this one. If I was a student who was not very good at Quant, then I would tell you which questions I would focus on in my first round. Not this one, because we'd have to make the diagram, look at the overlapping part, doesn't seem to be simple. This one also, maybe if you're not very good at Quant, you might have found this a bit difficult to understand. Okay, so move on. This one, maybe we could have kept it for the second round, but again, how many possible values are there? Okay, so not a first round question. This, I've mentioned the reason, not a first round question. This one, I feel like it could have been attempted in the first round. Principle is the same, interest is the same. After that, we just had to solve the equation. Okay, so this could have been targeted as a first round question. If you've completed functions, this also could have been a first round question. This was pretty direct. This was definitely a first round question. This was one of the easiest questions. You just had to deal with percentages. Okay, so definitely should have been attempted. This was a pretty manageable question on time and work. Maybe not very easy, but easy. Okay, so whether first round or second round, definitely should have been attempted. There was nothing complicated about this. This one, if you've done coordinate geometry and you remember the formula for area of a triangle, could have been solved. Because if you've done geometry, we would have seen for quadrilaterals, we normally split them into two triangles and calculate the area. So it was just application of that formula. This was complicated. This one, if you've done log, then just looking at the fact that all the bases are the same. After that, it was solvable. Maybe first round or second round, but definitely solvable. This I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be easy looking at the questions given. This one, see again, why I did not attempt in my first round was because I saw in my first round itself that here I have to find the sum of the reciprocals. That might become a bit time consuming. But I knew I definitely wanted to try it out because these kinds of questions are all about looking at the first 3-4 values and seeing if you get a pattern. If you can spot a pattern, just continue with it. If you can't spot a pattern, leave the question. Okay, I kept it for the second round because of the reciprocal part. Otherwise, I would have attempted in the first round, just tried out and just observed if I can get a pattern very quickly. Otherwise, skip it. Next one, see, if you've solved similar questions like this, then you will know that you can deal with this question. But again, because there are 11 people, we have to look at all of them. It's better to keep it as a second round question. This is the kind of question that everyone should just try out. Maybe give yourself 1 minute or 2 minutes, because you can see it's a very basic question. It's just power of 4 plus power of 2 is 96. So just try out some possibilities. If you are lucky and it's an easy question, you will quickly get the answer. If it's not an easy question, then you can skip the question quickly. Maybe after 1 minute or maximum 2 minutes, you can leave it. Okay, but you should definitely be trying it out, looking at how simple the equation is. This obviously seemed complicated. I've mentioned why. This one, there was a cannot be determined option, and there was a possibility that the two chords can be on opposite sides of the center or the same side of the center. So that is why I kept it for round 2. Whether it is easy or not, we will have to see. This was definitely a question that everyone should have attempted in the first round. All the individual times are given. When they are being opened is also given. So it's a very basic question on time and work, easy to observe. Next one. Yeah, next one did not seem to be very easy, but I think it should be manageable. Profit and loss. Okay, discount question. This one, if you've completed the inequalities topic and you've seen how to factorize a cubic equation, it was a basic question. Basic application of those concepts. So this was also a round 1 question if you've completed those topics. This one, I think it is manageable. I'll have to try it out, but of course, 4-digit number is there. So 4 terms in an AP. So did not seem to be very easy. So seemed like a round 2 question. This one again through experience, because I've solved similar questions like this. In fact, we've done similar question to this in module 1. Okay, because of that, I thought, okay, I can try it out and quickly solve. So that is the way I think, like that is the way I select. If I have a plan, then I will try it out in the first round. If I have a good plan. If I don't have a good plan, then I may try it out in the second round. Otherwise, if I can't even understand the question properly or I have zero plan, then I will happily skip the question. But see, I can still take a bit of risk because I've been doing this for years. Okay, I've solved a lot of questions, so I'm comfortable. For me, even a question which might be moderate for you, it might be easy for me through a lot of prior experience. So I would recommend all of you to be even more selective than I was. Okay, remember, it's not, you can't do exactly the same thing that I did. Okay, because you don't have the same level of practice. I'm just stating a fact. So make sure that you're even more selective. I could attempt more questions in my first round because I had a better plan for most of the questions because of more practice, more experience. That will not be true in in the cases of most students. So be more selective. Even if there are just 4 questions that you find easy, those should be the 4 questions that you are attempting first in your first round. Then come back to other questions. Okay, so attempt only those questions for which you have a proper plan. You can think of the starting step and you have a good plan for how you will proceed with the solution and still keep a maximum time limit. If you can't solve within that time, move on and you can always come back to that question later. Anything else? Any other question if anyone has, I'll be happy to take it up. Yeah, I was focusing on the analysis right now. So see, that is my time, na? Like 2 or 2.5 minutes for a quant question. That is my time for the easy questions because of course I have a lot of practice. In your case, you have to analyze your previous SimCATs and you have to see how much time do you normally take to solve an easy quant question correctly on average. If your average time is, let's say, 3 minutes, then keep that as the maximum time. If your average time is 3.5 minutes, keep that as the maximum time. And keep tracking. If you keep practicing and revising, your average time will reduce. Like maybe after 2 months, your average time, if it is currently 3.5 minutes, it might come down to 3 minutes. Then you can keep 3 minutes as the maximum time. See, that is why I'm saying you can't do exactly what I did. You have to look at the broader strategy and then look at your own data to see what specifically you should be doing. Khushi, the daily practice for RC and DILR sets, every day I would say you should be solving minimum 2 RCs, minimum 2 DILR sets. 3 of each would be even better. If you've not completed the syllabus, you should be solving from practice exercises, practice sets, and benchmarking tests. If you've completed the syllabus, then practice sets are still there. There are a lot of practice sets which will give you good miscellaneous practice. And you can also start solving from the previous year questions. SimCATs, of course, will keep giving you more practice. Okay, so 2 to 3 sets every day will be good. Manish, if you're getting very bad scores in VRC, there are basically 3 things you have to do. One thing is practice a lot. That is true for any section. Next thing is read a lot, because the more you read, the faster you will become at reading and the better you will become at comprehending passages, understanding them properly. So read a lot. I'm sure you would have got tired of people telling you to read more, but it is something that is essential. In my experience, every single time I've taken CAT, I've gotten more than 99 percentile in VRC. And primarily that has been because of a lot of reading. Okay, so if you hear people saying read a lot, it is because that is important. But the last thing is spend a lot of time with the solutions and focus on option elimination. So every time you are solving a VRC question, even if you get it correct, compare your logic with the solution's logic. If it is the same logic, great. If it is not the same logic, there is something to learn. And whenever you mark an incorrect option, then compare your logic with the solution and see the option that I marked. Why is that logic incorrect? And for the correct option, what is the correct logic? Okay, and also look at the other options. The other incorrect options, what on the basis of what logic have we been able to eliminate? So that way your understanding will increase. And until you see an improvement, reduce your attempts. If you're attempting a lot, hoping to get lucky, then of course, usually you will get a lot of negative marks. So reduce your attempts to only those RCs and those VA questions which you find easy to read and understand. And then the questions and the options seem easy, or you are able to eliminate 3 options. Reduce your attempts to the ones you are more confident about. Then spend a lot of time analyzing the solutions. Then when you see that your accuracy is becoming better, then you can attempt more. Okay, so this should be the plan. Yogesh, after modules, your primary focus should be on SimCATs and on previous year questions. If you're done with the syllabus, you should be solving 2 to 3 mocks in a week, and you should be solving previous year questions of the last 9 years. Take a few of them as mocks also, especially papers of recent years. And you should be revising weaker areas. Okay, so every week take 2 to 3 SimCATs or 2 to 3 mocks and solve previous year questions. And maybe every week you can pick one topic to revise that you have forgotten or you're not very comfortable with. And of course, as we keep providing more practice material on IMS, like master classes should be starting from next month on IMS for IMS students. DILR booster series are going on. Okay, so keep using all of that. But top 2 are SimCATs and previous year questions along with revision. Parth, you are asking how to complete modules. What is a good approach to solve it? Parth, you just have to follow the order. First module 1, then module 2, then 3, then 4. And within every module, first do the class exercise, then practice exercise, then benchmarking test. So that is the order. How to complete module Parth, we will have to have a one-to-one discussion. So if Parth, you are an IMS student, just book a MyPlan with me. I've opened some MyPlan slots for the next few days. Okay, book a slot. We can discuss in detail as per your schedule how you can complete the modules. But a general guideline you can follow is try to do a little bit for every section every day. And more for quant, because quant has more topics in the syllabus. So for example, if you can give 7 hours every day, out of those 7 hours, you should be giving 3 hours to quant, 2 hours to DILR, 2 hours to VRC. Okay, and your target should be that maybe every week you are completing, let's say, 3 quant topics. Okay, for that, you will have to complete 1 quant topic every 2 days approximately. Like today, maybe do the class, watch the recording of the class and do the like do half of the practice exercise, and tomorrow complete the remaining practice exercise and benchmarking test. In that way, you might have to give 4 hours to quant every day. Okay, so Parth, I've just given you an idea how to complete the modules. Now you can book a My Plan so that we can discuss in detail. Okay, so I think this is it. I've solved the SimCAT live, shown you how to select the questions. I've told you my strategy as well. I hope all of this is useful, and we are done for right now. But now when I end the live streaming, anyone who wants more sessions like this, or if you want some other type of session also, please put in your requests in the comment section. Then we can take a look at these requests and see for which type of session there is more demand. Okay, the type of session that a lot of students want, we will try to come up with that session. Okay, that is it for today. Bye everyone. Keep preparing. All the best.